Koikimedia, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwa sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, ìníhùn ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó dorí kodò bí àdán ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódùdúwà ga.
Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe gírí, ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀, àwa ni ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá máa ní.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀mí ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀mí, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ tájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ, jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you work closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o, tó ń kan kí oko lára ni.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá, ẹ gbé polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Odùduwà la gbé dání, òtítọ́ la gbé dání.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sóníkèéta.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
A dúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia, we bring you work closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia is around
To give us latest.
Is around
To give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
Koikimedia is around.
To give us latest.
Koikimedia.
Koikimi.
ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àkí ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tìlé tó kó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan mọ́ Adéyẹmọ Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹrù bo lórúkọ gan-an ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àfìmọ̀ṣọ̀ kan ká lè débi re ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ gèdèlè wodò sànyà ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sínà ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ń ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sanran ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho àfikàn pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ àfiṣẹrù wálé wàrà mòjé ọmọ onílé ọlà àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà tójú kò fi rí ńkọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ti ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá òkúta ò ṣe gbé fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kún díẹ̀ títọ́ domi láéláyé ìtọ́ mi lè domi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti dí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. We don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ níbi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And as I was saying there, I was actually greeting as many of you in the beautiful mother tongue that is called the Yoruba language. A very good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I say, good evening and welcome. It is going to be a very interesting, program this evening. And I say good evening and welcome as we prepare, for this evening program. My name is FOLAYEMI Koiki, and I say welcome into the conversation. And I say sit back and let us take you home this evening. Today is the 12th of July 2023, and the time is just about 5 minutes past 1800 hours. That literally means just 5 minutes past 6 p.m. local time for those of you in Nigeria. Sit back, and this evening we will be taking you through a very, very important discussion when it comes to the Yoruba nation struggle and some of the work that is being done by some of those that are working behind the scene. Also, we will be discussing the ECOWAS, as we know that the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not be in charge of Nigeria under the ECOWAS for the next 1 year. What does that really mean to the average Nigerian? How do we explain this to you? All these will be discussed in the course of the program this evening. So I want you to really sit back because there will be quite a lot and there will be a lot to also talk about. I have with me my guest that also I can see on the screen. It will be lined up quickly and it will be able to join me into this conversation. This evening, it's going to be one of the most important parts when it comes to also the Yoruba nation struggle that so many of us have been talking about. What does it mean? Are we still on the right track? Is Yoruba nation a failed project? As so many people are saying that now that we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, does that really mean that the Yoruba nation struggle is there? We know that it was, out of the country, and by the time he came back, he has been given more, more position from the one that he needs to handle, which is the Nigeria state. The last time I had this kind of conversation on a guest was just sometimes. I've gone back to look at my record. We had this discussion on the 24th of March, 2022. And as at that time, it was the conversation about the Yoruba UK Central Office. It was a one-on-one with the Honorable Dr. Isaac Okebiorunkosi. And this evening, he's also joining us from his own base. I am joining from my base, where my producer has been preparing us, for this. I mean, some of you don't understand, what it takes to prepare, programs. Most times we have to prepare a lot. There's a lot to discuss, but I can assure you that I have my guest that will be lined up on the screen with me in the next few minutes. If you have not been part of the STARR Radio UK, I want you to, you can do us a big favor by going on the STARR Radio UK network, the Twitter, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, especially when we discuss issues affecting Nigerians, issues affecting the indigenous people, whether you are Biafra, whether you are Hausa. I will be discussing about a letter that I received where the Hausa are also complaining about being marginalized. And yes, I have on the screen with me, Dr. Okebiorunkosi. Please look into the camera. I know your hands are filled up with so many other things because the discussion tonight is very, very unique. It's very, very important, and we don't waste too much time. Let me first say to those that have been part of us, you know what it takes. If time permits, we might take 1 or 2 or 3 calls. We don't know yet, but there's a lot to discuss. It's all about the update. Is the central office, what does it mean? When people hear central office, they probably thought maybe that is the central command. Is it the Yoruba Nation embassy? Dr. Okebiorunkosi, Honorable, have been part of the community prior before the Yoruba Nation. He's been doing a lot within the Nigerian community context. But we all got to know each other just after the Professor Adebanji Akintoye brought in what we call the Yoruba Nation campaign. And that is the reason why we are here again tonight, especially for the concerned Yorubas that are stuck. We have as many Nigerians, whether you are Yoruba or not, they are all here in UK. And if you go back to the news report that I had this morning with Archie, we were looking at Nigerians that are going to be facing a lot. And the headline was, the Naira devaluation will literally mean that more Nigerians that are studying in the United Kingdom, where about 100,000, although of over 120,000 Nigerians since 2015. That means that their school fees is becoming expensive due to the Naira devaluation. And I'll explain that in just a simple term. If you have 5 million Naira in your bank account and you're expecting to pay a £9,000, accommodation, this is not your school fees, just your accommodation. I can tell you that if you put the 5 million in your account in March, by July, that 5 million would only give you £5,000 as different to £9,000 equivalent. That is because the Naira has been devalued. That put a lot of pressure on so many students, whether they are Yorubas or non-Yorubas that are schooling, especially in UK. Let me first go straight to make sure that we have the sound coming out from Honorable Dr. Okebiorunkosi Isaac. Could you please, introduce yourself to our listeners from around the world, and let's hear to make sure that our audio with you is working perfectly.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Very good. Thank you very much. This is a lively program. I will make sure that it stays so throughout from the beginning to the end. Appreciate you, koikimedia. This is STARR Radio. Yes, God bless you. More grease to your elbow. My name is Isaac Okebiorunkosi, and I represent Yoruba Central Office Diaspora. I'm at the head office, Yoruba UK Central Office. And I do other work for our country, our Yoruba nation. And I thank God for the grace that He has given me to be able to deliver. I always say, wherever I do, it's such that, such that in future, we can say about when Isaac Okebiorunkosi, when that name is mentioned, some people will say that he tried his best. There is nothing else that we need now than to set record of prosperity, for future, for our future, for our children and children's children, so that history will be fair unto us. That is all that we need at this point in time. And we thank God for this opportunity at this time that is happening at our time. So I also use the opportunity to call in all the knowledgeable, all the educated indigenes, Yoruba indigenes, all of us that are abroad. Let us come together and help our nation and help get our country. Let's help contribute and make it work. That is a brief introduction. I'm happy to be on this program today, and we'll be able to discuss various things that affected the Yoruba Central Office, the diaspora, how we started, what we are doing, who we are, what we do, and how we go about what we do. And those are the three main things that summarize what we need to know about Yoruba UK Central Office. Who we are, what do we do, and how do we do what we do. I'll go into detail on those three, so that you will be rest assured that you have a reliable office representing Yoruba these days, wherever we are in the world. So that is it. Thank you very much. We have a board of trustees. I'm the executive secretary with the board of trustees, and our chairman is Dr. FOLAYEMI, Dr. Shola FOLAYEMI is our chairman. We have other members of the board of trustees that govern the office. I'm the executive secretary and the CEO for Yoruba Central Office Diaspora, the chief executive officers. So I think I will stop there. I would say some more more things
All right.
about us as we proceed. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Okebiorunkosi. And like I said, our last outing was March 2022, and I can tell you that in the course of that program that we had with you, a very fantastic outing. It's almost a year now. If we look back when we sat together one-on-one. Whether things have changed, I don't know. Whether we need to know more to what we knew, some year ago. What has been the difference? Let me tell you, just so that you have a picture idea of the comments that came out from that interview. Maybe you might want to take note of that. Oluwasegun Aregbesola said, "Thanks for the good job. Yoruba is for real." He also went further to say that he was actually watching us from Zaria in Nigeria, which is the northern part of what we call Nigeria today. Adekambi David say, "End Nigeria to save life. No going back. Yoruba nation now." Dauda Ibrahim gave you a thumbs up. Aminu Tajuddin say, "God will liberate the Yoruba land from the wicked government of Nigeria." I don't know whether you disagree or agree with that. Is Nigeria a wicked government when it comes to its citizen, which is the reason why you have set up what is known as the Yoruba Central Office. Also, Mrs. Ebun Enilolobo say, "Well done, Olayomi Koiki, for bringing Dr. Isaac Okebiorunkosi on board this evening. Your name shall be written," which is exactly what you said earlier. And remember, for your great work and awareness towards the actualization of the Yoruba nation. Love you, Lord, brother. Mrs. India gave you a beautiful thumbs up as well. And that is, and the last one was Mrs. Bola Tito Aderinto say, "Good evening, thank you." So you had a bit of a thank you. I don't know whether we will end up having thank you today, because I know that even before coming on air, you were actually giving me a picture of something that was engaging your phone line when we were trying to get through to you on the Star Radio UK with my producer, Archie. I say good evening to you, Archie. Good evening to Frank. I hope when you're coming back from Ghana, bring sunshine. And remember that our jollof rice is still better, but it would be nice to have Kenke instead of jollof rice. Dr. Okebiorunkosi, you were actually engaged on the phone when we were trying to reach you about some 10 minutes. And you were telling me it's got to do with something. What has that got to do? If it's something that you can just share a little bit, even if it's not everything, because these are part of what you do on your day-to-day apart from your, and some people think maybe some of you don't have a job. I know that I caught up with you at work, and yet you are here with me, and that literally means that you are using your spare time to work towards the project, not that you don't have other project in hand. But what was the reason why your phone line was engaged?
I had about 3 or 4 calls. So I'm not able to remember. Did I share the point with you so that I can expand on it? Sorry, I had 3 calls.
No, you did not. That's the reason why I want us to just have the, for the benefit of our listeners, because you told me just the brief, but you didn't go into full much details. You said you were engaged because another brother was stuck or had to do with some issues.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
That's the reason.
Because I had a call with him. I had a call from our father, Baba Akitoye. I had a call also from another lady in somewhere in Cairo or so. So I've had so many calls, in between since I closed at work. Yes, this particular brother, he's one of us. He had issues, and he's one of a social media man, and he got to know about Yoruba Central Office. Okay, but he had issues with the immigration people, and we wrote a letter to the solicitor, so to support him, that we know him, right? Oh dear, someone is trying to call him. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a call coming in. Somebody is trying to call my number. So, yeah, we wrote a letter to the solicitor, through the solicitor to the Home Office, because we know him. And we gave evidence, that this man is one of our agitators. he cannot, he has issues here. You got to attend to him. Yeah? Sorry. I have to decline this call. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Right, Emma Binu. Sorry. One caller kept coming in, and I don't know how to stop this now. It's a WhatsApp call. It keeps coming in. Anyway, let's carry on. So that's the point. He wrote to us that we should support him because he had a case to solve with the immigration, and why not? Because we know him very well. We have evidence that this man has been working and supporting. We know the situation. So the role of Yoruba UK Central Office is to support Yoruba in difficulty, on the basis of truth and law and order. So once there's a legal evidence, we have evidence that we know what you're doing is right, we will support you. We went there and we wrote a letter to the solicitor to submit in support of his case to the Home Office. If I mention that brother's name, many of you will know it in our social
I would
media.
rather not do that.
Yeah, that's right. I will not go that far. Yeah, because we know we are doing it. We are supporting our Yoruba, but that is 1 out of 100. That's only 1 out of 100.
Let me
so our role.
Because when you
just a minute. Our role.
I know you want to go a little bit further. When you say you know him, does it mean that if we don't know somebody, we might not help him with such? Because we know him. Is it because he's a Yoruba man, or is it because he's a Nigerian? Is it because he's also in if I am not in support of Yoruba nation, and I am a Nigerian, I'm a Yoruba man, I am stuck in London, I am stuck in Cairo, and I put a call to you, and you say, are you in support of Yoruba nation before we answer your call? Is that the due process?
No. I can answer you straight. Even in my dreams. No. Yoruba is Yoruba. Yoruba UK Central Office says Yoruba UK Central Office. Yoruba Central Office Diaspora. You understand? We did not put your nation there to kind of categorize some people. No. Yoruba is Yoruba. Anyone that is Yoruba by nature, by name, by birth, comes and calls for our help, we will support as much as we can. We support. So Yoruba Nation, of course, is one of our. So we have 4 beneficiaries. All Yoruba individuals. Number 1. All Yoruba groups and associations. Any egbe or group that needs our help, we will support them. Whether in training, whether in accounting, whether in banking, whether in management, whether in advisory, whatever. All Yoruba groups, it doesn't matter, including sports groups. What do you call this? Our groups from Ile, what do you call it? Our Egbe Ile, from home. If they need any help, we call it, or a group that is just formed by Yoruba people that need assistance. We've helped also many. So we have Yoruba individuals. When a Yoruba individual calls us, we are here to help. We are here to help, and there is no limit to what we can do. As far as it's legal, we can help. Then number 2 is the associations and groups, like I said. Number 3 is Yoruba communities in the foreign countries. Yoruba communities are the interface between Yoruba and that country. We create that interface to have a link. That interface is very, very, very necessary for our outreach to different countries in the world. You get to them through the community setup, community work, community activities, community relationship. Community work in the country is what you use to interface to reach out to that country. So Yoruba community work, we also are there. If there is none, we can set it up. If there is none, we can set it up. Yeah.
Okay.
So hello, sir. I'm on radio. I will call you, sir. Yeah. So we offer service for all Yoruba associations and groups. And fourthly is Yoruba Nation, headed by our Yoruba Nation leader, Professor Akitoye. So those are the 4 categories: individuals, community, groups and associations, community in the different countries abroad, and Yoruba Nation. These are our 4 beneficiaries. So anyone that calls as a Yoruba person, a lot of people we don't know them. Most of the people that call from home, I don't know them. They call me, they get two others have called just today while I was in the office. You know, some of them I say I will call them back. So when they call, we'll take a note of what they want. And if it is something that I can attend to immediately, we do that. If it requires us to set up a casework, then I will call a project manager from our welfare council who will head that issue. Maybe they need to do more research or do more finding. We have a welfare council. We have trained workers, officers there that will call them to handle the case. So we are properly set up to help our Yoruba people. What Nigeria is supposed to provide for us through the embassies that is not there. That is what we are doing. It is a part and parcel of the work of embassies to take care of the indigenous in their country, but they don't take care of us. They can't take care of themselves, so we have to take care of ourselves. So it's everybody. There's no limit. Yes.
Thank you so much for giving us, because when people hear, that maybe it might just have to do with people that are in support of Yoruba Nation. So thank you so much for the clarification. Who are we? When we say we are the central office, does that mean that the central office, is in charge of, the movement, or is it part of the Project Yoruba Nation movement? Who actually are we? I mean, when I say we, because the reason why because you've actually said who we are. And I know that the fraudulent military diktat 1999 constitution say we the people. We know that I was not part of that creation of that fraudulent document, but who we are, who actually is the central office, and what do we need to know about the central office?
Great, thank you very much. There's a lot that we need to know about central office. It's an institution, it's an organization set up, right, to support, help, and Yoruba people, and to proclaim the good name, the good image of Yoruba to the whole world. That is the summary of it. Help, support, and aid Yoruba in diaspora, and let the name Yoruba and who we are, our culture, our race, be known to the whole world. So we have a welfare council that helps to run the support. We have an outreach council that helps to propagate, who Yorubas are, the Yoruba are. Okay, so what we are doing is to carry out these objectives. Break it down to objectives so that we can meet this aim. That's who we are. We are an organization registered. I've just said that Baba Shola FOLAYEMI, Chief Dr. FOLAYEMI, is the chairman, right? I am the chief executive officer. By God's grace, it was an idea that started from supporting Yoruba in UK. And from there on, we started, having calls from other countries when they heard of what we're doing in UK, that they too wanted to set up in their different countries. And we've gone beyond over 25 different countries and states in America, provinces in Canada. We have different, countries like that have called. Even back home in Nigeria, they wanted to set it up there. But we say, well, we cannot help in that way because that is home. The different program or project for home, which is being planned as I speak. Is
that because the name Diaspora, is coming to it, and that's the reason why the home will be different? Because as many people don't understand the difference between diaspora and home. Correct.
Every other country outside Nigeria, we class it as diaspora. Outside, they are abroad. Even Benin is part of diaspora. Although what we have now done is set up an office in Benin to represent Benin and home. The Benin Republic has a physical office. We rented a space for Benin, a central office, and that will also serve Nigeria, because we don't want any kind of home Nigeria, if we have an office there, it will not be called Yoruba Central Office Diaspora. We'll give it a different name. Okay. You understand? Yes. Okay. But like I said, many of the calls that I will receive come from home. Many that want to come over here, many that need assistance over there, many that, all kinds of calls that, come from home. Yes, but we take those calls as well.
Thank you so much. A very good evening to all our listeners and viewers from around the world. Let me quickly appreciate some of you. Ayinde Usman, good evening to you. Akim Oluwadamilari, good evening to you. Adeni Ikende, Badamosi Smiler, Princess, Grandma Adebinkwe Awoneye, good evening to you. Raufo Aniwofowoshe, good evening and welcome. And those of you that have not yet followed us on the Twitter, on the Star Radio, we wanted to do so. Good evening to you, Wale Ikujimi. And also to all the honorables that are working within the Yoruba Central Office. Mr. Kendi Oseni, good evening to you. God Last Brown, Mrs. Elizabeth Adesonya, and also to my beautiful mom and my family as well. Let's come back because there's a lot to discuss and there's still a lot that I want us to review into the conversation today. A year ago that we sat together and we had, almost 2 hours, one-on-one. Yeah. What has really changed? As many things have changed, I know that, but my question is, what has really changed within the Yoruba Central Office, within the Yoruba Nation movement, and likewise, as we will be touching on the Bola Tinubu at some point, because we know that he is now the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yeah. So March last year till March this year, few months passed. That literally means that a year, about 3 months that I sat with you today when we had this sort of conversation. What has changed?
Oh, yes. A lot has changed in terms of the experience that we've had, in terms of the deliverables that we have actually given out and what we have worked upon, in terms of our involvement in Yoruba Nation, even in the office itself, in terms of the participation of Yoruba people, a lot has changed since 15 months ago. That's a long time ago in the life of an organization. And then the fact that we are also a registered charity organization, it gives us, a kind of a foundation or root to actually develop and grow, and with confidence that we are doing, something right for the people. We have objectives, we have aims that we, work upon. So these are the things that are driving us, and we're going forward. The organization is just about 2.5 years now. So, we've gone over a first stage. We're still establishing and getting our root, still studying a lot of things, behaviors of our people, behaviors of people outside, behaviors of those inside, behavior. We are still studying so that we're getting used to, Yoruba people, real life. It's not theory. It's not that we are studying, we are learning about it. No, we are dealing with Yoruba, home and abroad, all kinds of behaviors, all kinds of attitudes,
so what kind of behavior are we talking there? Because a lot of time, and I know that our professor Adebanji Akintoye have knocked that nonsense that this Alale cause is the reason why things are not working for the Yoruba people, and he has actually given us even a little bit more in depth of why these quote and unquote, Alale we have been cursed. That is why we cannot work together. But as many people do not understand that we have other communities within UK and around the world that are also struggling. And I'll give you an example. I was able to follow the Indian Prime Minister Modi up to Australia, and it was a full-packed, stadium with over 20 to 30,000 Indian diaspora living in Australia. I'm not sure whether I've been able to see such within the Nigerian context. Maybe because we are not one, as we have been told, and that means that if the president is coming to UK, who cares? I'm looking for my day-to-day activities and bread and wine. But the question is, how difficult has it been handling issues with the Yoruba community? Because that is the community that we are discussing, not the whole entity called Nigeria today. But we are talking about them because they are still part. And I remember your word, the Nigeria in them is making so many people
Yes.
to do things that they are not meant to be doing.
Yes.
And as an example, the young man that has been sentenced in America is a Yoruba man for defrauding people to, and then let's get the hang of that.
Yes, actually, when you are growing up, the environment has influence on you a lot. It has influence. What you see will kind of influence your behavior and attitude. Yes, if you get to a country where there is law and order, you will try as much as possible to, somehow it will get inside you. It may not be much, it may be much, but at least you get awareness that there is need for law and order here. You'll be controlled, you'll be guided. But when you are in a jungle where there is no law and order, where it is the survival of the fittest, where everybody lives on what they see, and there's no coordination of such at that level. Jungles are made for some category of creation. So when you live in that kind of a place, if you stay too long in the wilderness, in the bush, you start behaving like animals. I tell you, there is no way. This our body and our creation is such that it changes. Whether we like it or not, wherever you live for a long time has influence upon you. Unfortunately, those that live back home, it has affected them a lot. And it's affected them a lot in terms of how they think, how they reason, and that's, no matter what they say, it is there. They may disagree. Those of you in abroad, you think that you know better. That is what you hear. Of course, that is what we expect them to say because of the limitation. When you have not seen the other side, you don't know what's happening there. For people that have been abroad and have seen where human beings govern, they may have a little one or two problems. But you will know what you see from the outside, that there is organization here. There is order here. If there is order, that's number one. There is law, and people obey the law. You understand? They know how to package themselves and put things and develop. So that is not there. So we don't expect that they would be behaving like people that live in an organized country. So that is the problem. So we have to accommodate them. The factor of Nigeria inside each individual Yoruba is what makes them to be who they are. Too much of Nigeria in them will destroy them. Omoluabi, that's what we are called. And I want to believe that. So the amount of Omoluabi in each individual depends on how much Nigeria is in them. Yeah? So you share the 100% between Omoluabi and Nigeria. So your attitude and behavior depends on if you have 80% Omoluabi or just 10% Omoluabi. The one that has 80%, you expect the person to be coordinated. They will answer questions. They will think reasonably. They will think logically. They will relate with you like a human being. But when that Nigerian is more, it's 80%, and Omoluabi is 20%. Oh my God. You just have to realize that. So we are trained in Yoruba Yoruba Central Office that never ever fight with any Yoruba. And I am the one that always use this proverb. Nítorí pé gbogbo wọn ni nínú. Before, Yoruba would say, mele ti nínú. But we have changed it to gbogbo wọn ni nínú. Inú ọba run wọn ní dánú délẹ̀. That is the case of Nigeria, Yoruba in Nigeria. I tell you, you cannot be in Nigeria and be completely, no matter how, there will be some amount of thought, some amount of crookedness that will come. There's some amount of Omoluabi cannot be 100%. Just because you are in Nigeria, Omoluabi can never be 100%. When it comes to issue, when you face situations, you will know that you don't have Omoluabi inside you. It's not 100%. Maybe you have not faced any critical, any challenging situation. I can do this now. I can be straightforward. I can be when a situation faces you, then a test on your Omoluabi will be performed, will be carried out. Then you will know that you don't have 100%.
How come within the 60s, during the regional government, this ethos of Omoluabi was still functioning up to the dissolution of the regional government that we got from the British. Correct. Through our late fathers there, the Azikiwe, the Obafemi Awolowo. And I'm just picking up from one of our mothers, Mrs. Dupe Agbola, say it is very difficult to change the people back home or advise them. They always tell you it's because you are not here. Also, Wale Ikujimi said, Professor Akintoye said, we shouldn't say Yoruba is not worth fighting for. Anybody saying that is under the influence of the Fulani Marabot. Is it really what the Yoruba Central Office is doing? because people might not even think of the support, and they think that I would rather give my money, to the TV advert, quote and unquote. We don't want to mention any other big organization. We've seen them that are demanding for the £5 because there's starvation somewhere, there's water problem. But is it really worth it? Tell me, Mr. Dr. Okebiorunkosi, is it really worth it fighting the cost of this central office for the project of Yoruba people? Is it really worth it?
Yes. We are making progress, and we just have one little hurdle to cross, I tell you, and we will get there. Yoruba UK Central Office, all our workers are trained. They know this thing I'm telling you. They are trained to understand the situation of Yoruba people, in back home in Nigeria. We are trained. We are being trained to understand what they're facing. We are being trained to understand how they are thinking. Just as I've described to you, your environment influences you a lot, whether you like it or not. I mean, you are experienced now. You have seen that. You have traveled all over. You go on the buses and show us what is happening in the advanced country where they have organized themselves and order and all of that. You want them to know that, look, human beings are doing this. You went as far as, is it UAE or where was that you traveled to at that time to show what's happening? Dubai, in the organized country. Yes, it is because when they are chained. Actually, Yoruba people are under chain. They are being chained. They can't use the mind of their own. They may have their own little problems, but generally they are still in the cage. Until that cage is opened and broken and they come out and we come out from that cage, we cannot see the light. No. There is nothing you want to do now, for instance, that you can do in that country. The government can stand against it. They can frustrate your effort and all of that. What the government is supposed to be doing for Yoruba people, they are not doing it. They're not doing it. And if you want to start it, they will not give you funding, right? And then all this philosophy and the psychological way of doing things in Nigeria, that one is another problem. So that is why that they can be saved. Of course, and Yoruba will be saved. Yoruba can be saved and Yoruba will be saved. The good news is coming. The good news is here. One day, they will come out of that. It doesn't matter. I understand from Baba today that some people in Ariwa are saying that Nigeria will not be allowed. Nobody is going to be allowed to leave. Just today. Baba was telling me, and we're discussing that.
I got the feel of that as well, but we come back to that later. I still want us to focus on the objectives and the aim of the central office.
Okay.
When we say it's a central office, you've talked about the objectives, the aims, the participation, the involvement, the delivery. What really is the participation that you expect from the Yorubas that are outside? Because if you want to give a delivery to something, I receive a package, and from the time that I pay for that package, that means I am told that the package is en route to me until I get the service, and that means that I'm also participating because I have to track, these package. How do Yoruba people participate in these Yoruba Central Office? Good evening to you, Mr. Shegun. Good evening to you, Aziz in Miami, and the rest of you. I am with the Yoruba Central Office, Diaspora UK Head Office, with Dr. Isaac Okebiorunkosi, and we say shout out to all the teams that are working behind the scene as well. Dr. Okebiorunkosi, what actually is the participation that you need from the Yoruba people, whether in US, in whether in Australia, in New Zealand? We have been told that we've been traveling a lot. We love traveling. But what actually is the participation that you need?
Yes, we need participation in management. That is what we need mostly now. We need managers, people that are, God-given, they are brainy, they are managers of projects or managers of offices. We need more managers that have been trained, that can train others. That every office are being managed, isn't it? So this is what I need, we need now. This is what our office need now. More managers that know how to manage resources. The issue of applying their management skills to charity organizations will be taken care of by the office. We will show them the difference between managing a company, profit-making company, and managing an organization that is a charity, that is not profit making. And then on top of that, we also teach them how to manage Yoruba people, because that is a different kettle of fish. You may be able to manage Indians, manage Chinese, and manage English, manage the Irish. But when you come to managing Yoruba, you got to learn differently. You got to know how to manage Yoruba people. I tell you, from my experience now, the past 3 years, and for what I've seen through Yoruba World Congress, Yoruba Ilana Oodua, and YSDM, and the whole Yoruba state self-determination movement, you got to know, you got to learn separately, particularly how to manage Yoruba people if you want to succeed. And there's a way I've discovered that we need to manage them. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much once again. If those that are joining us, with me is Honorable Dr. Isaac Okebiorunkosi. I remember we've met, not once. We even had a lovely, meal together. But in reality, when we talk about the central office, you've been telling us, the road that you need. Maybe you might want to give an email, as we have a lot of, Yorubas that are listening to us around the world, and maybe they might want to reach out to you. First give us, a contact information that they can do, and then I'll be able to, ask more questions, because I know that something is also coming up very soon that you are planning for. We want to talk about that. There's also a lot of discussion that I still have with me, and more of such as well. But for those that wants to reach out to you this evening, maybe after listening, they're fascinated. Maybe they're hearing it for the first time, even though we've had you a year ago. I've met you in different platforms as well. How can they reach out to the central office to be part of that engagement and participation?
Wonderful. Our email address is ECCO@YUKGB.org. ECCO stands for Executive Council Chief Officer. And then YUKGB is Yoruba UK Governing Board. So ECCO@YUKGB.org. That is our email, official email. And our phone number, WhatsApp number is +44 77 99 127 851. +44 77 99 127 851. A lot of people, are being blessed by our organization in America, at home, in Europe, in Libya, in UK, surprisingly, in UK, Canada. I tell you, a lot, all over the world. I've been blessed by what we're doing. We are volunteers. We do it cheerfully. We are happy doing it. We are not paid. But I can tell you, people are deriving joy, satisfaction for being there to assist, to help people. So they are specialists. The kind of people that come to us are people that have a heart to help, their brothers and sisters without demanding. And the thing we make it so easy that we are not being forced. We have, on the staff list, we have about 300. We have about 300 both on staff as well as the supporters. We have supporters whom we call resident governing members. If you combine these two together in UK alone, we have over 300. So we don't bother someone that you have to be there 9 to 5. No, if there's a project, we will ask you if you have the time. If you don't have the time for this project, you have time for another project. And there are many projects going on. And we assign a project manager or a project leader who runs that project. If there is a case that we need more people to handle, we call the people in Welfare Council. If you're in Welfare Council, we ask you, do you have the time? Yes, we put you in that project to attend to that situation. So we all kinds of manners of situations. See, we just only need more of publicity, and this is where we request you to help us. Send out our advertisements and publicity. So we need managers, especially people that know how to manage, and the people that want to be trained as managers. You come in. We have a simple training for officers. We have a simple assessment you will do. We have a chat before you come in and become an officer. When you become an officer in YCO, you can the sky is your limit. You can become the CEO tomorrow. That's all. You know, we never know. We can break it down and have CEO for America.
When do you normally have this induction? Because I know and another induction is coming up very soon.
Yeah.
And maybe there might be one or two people out there that are like, wow, listening to you this evening, being the 12th day of July 2023, still the Star Radio UK network. It's just 10 minutes before 7 p.m. or 1900 hours. It's just the first hour. We still have the next 1.5 hours to deal with so many questions and answer, and how you can also be part of those, even if you don't want to be part of the engagement. Maybe a £10 might not be too much to put into the central office as well. Induction is coming up. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we're going to be talking about something also coming up in terms of an outing on the 29th, which is part of, I believe, will be the first one. I don't know, maybe it's the first one or the second one.
Correct.
But this induction that is coming up, what is it all about, and what do we need to know about the induction?
Yes, because of the nature of our job, like I told you earlier on, we are registered with a charity registration, formal registration in UK. We're also registered as a organization in a company, limited by guarantee. And because of the people we deal with, Yoruba is still part of the public. We are being governed by law. There's a lot of things that we cannot do that law is regulating us. So we need to train our workers on the legal aspect. We need to train our workers on how to relate, relationship. We need to train our workers on moderation. We need to train our workers on counseling. And then mediation, how to mediate when there is trouble within the home, within issues, within people. We need to train them. We need to train them on who Yoruba people are. We need to train them on how to relate. It's a lot of training there. That is why we start with induction. Induction is to welcome anyone that is coming in and to let them know what they have come for. It's not an elegbe-jegbe kind of arrangement. Elegbe-jegbe, egbe this, egbe that. No. This is a formal and professional organization, formal and professional. We have laws, we have rules, we have codes of conduct. You cannot mess around here. It's not tolerated at all. And it is coming from, the way that I have studied and understood Yoruba people, right? You cannot allow, there's some things that you just have to put in place and let your yes be yes and your no be no. You got to be firm, with our people. You got to be firm and be discreet. You got to let them know the correct thing. You're going to be clear to them. Clarity is very essential. Those that love clarity will remain. Those that don't love clarity, they want to do things the way they think that they have been doing it before. They will bring it to the office. No, they will be sacked immediately. They will be asked to go out. You understand? This is an organization, a formal organization. So they need to be trained. It is not the way you run your elegbe parapo. That's the same way you come and meet it here. No. There is no such thing as a general meeting where people will come and vote. You don't do that here. It is an office. We give assignment to a project manager, a project leader. That project leader is responsible for that project. Any issue that concerns that project will come from the project leader, not from where let us hold a meeting and want to decide and all that stuff. It doesn't work in the office. It's an office, and we have to overemphasize to people that this is an office setting. It is not a legbe setting. So when you are holding your discussion, even when the people agree and this is what they want, the leader of that meeting must recommend or take responsibility for that decision. We are going to hear from the project leader, not from everybody there. No, we run it as a formal office organization. You cannot get to an office one day and then the CEO or the project leader or the head of office say, I don't know what to do. Let's just call everybody to come and vote. It doesn't work like that. You don't call people to come and vote when you want to take a decision. Someone has to be accountable. Accountability, responsibility, yes, must be there for the people that are managing office. That is the way we run Yoruba Central Office. And anyone that finds it difficult to follow that kind of suit and just want to be able to talk to anybody anyhow, it won't work in that office. It doesn't work for us. The person will have to find their way out. So you find out people come in and expect that it's like a pig style. The pig, the pig. I can share off for Kakiri, anybody can jump anywhere. This is not arranged. This is not like that. So Yoruba UK Central, the way we are, the way we do what we do is because of what we have learned about Yoruba people and the way the organizations run. And the fact that we are also legal. We have legal requirements. we are under regulation. Yeah? So under regulation, we can't just allow anything to happen. Things must be properly organized. So that is why. So it's open for everyone that loves to work freely, to work and support Yoruba people. We are very, very open. There is a room for everyone. We need managers. We need funding as well, like you mentioned. We need funding. I mean, we just simple amount, £10 per month per individual Yoruba. Our account is there. I've just giving you the phone number. We can also give you the account number in UK. And those of us in other countries, if you require, I don't know the details by heart, but we can send to you. So that is how we are set up. That is how we run.
It seems that when a lot of people that are listening, sometimes get confused because we have, so many organizations out there, trying their best, in terms of the cause of the Yoruba nation movement as well. But unfortunately, maybe they are not, connecting each other to the dots. And that means that, we have these organizations there, we have that there. How do you work with other, organizations, especially in the course of the movement? I know that you were in Benin Republic, some few months back. Like I said, it's been a year already, and I'm still trying to get as much of what is happening. You told us earlier that an office has been set up in Benin Republic, which is also still a diaspora objectives and aims. But in terms of working with different organizations, without mentioning names, how do you manage what you are doing and work with them? Because what we've always been told is that we don't want things to be duplicated, because a duplication of what we are doing is of no use. So if somebody wants to set up maybe what you're doing, is it advisable for them to set it up? Maybe they are not even aware of you, and they've already set it up, and you probably got the picture of it that in Jamaica, a central office is operating, and you're thinking, that is not one of us. How do you manage, information-wise? Because we know that in every country around the world, the most important part is sharing, information and working together. That makes a country to work. As against the jungle that we are talking about that has 774 local government, but nothing seems to be functioning. If I go to Manchester, the same council might not have all my details, but it is still working in line, code of conduct with the one in England or Manchester or wherever I travel to. How do you work together with all these organizations, that we're talking about?
The basis of Yoruba Central Office Diaspora is been welfare. Take care of Yoruba people. Fill that gap that that the Nigerian embassy is not filling. That's how we started. Support. Maybe I've shared the history of how we started. It was one Yoruba man found me in 2019 or 2020, I beg your pardon, 2020. He found me, we met. I just had someone calling my name, say Pastor Okebiorunkosi, and I turned, I didn't recognize him. This is how we started, so that you see that we are different from other organizations. How we started is what is driving us. We have an aim. We're not competing. We never knew anybody run this kind of thing before. So we are not competing with anybody, and we will not compete. We don't have that business of competition. All right. This brother called me and I asked, well, hello. He said, don't you remember? I said, no. He said, in 2005, that was 15 years back. I did so and so forth to him, and I gave him some. He was in a situation whereby he didn't know even where to sleep. He didn't have anything to eat, and I put my hand in my pocket and gave it to him. Really? 15 years ago, and you still remember me, remember my face? I have forgotten about this man completely. Man, that thing touched me, seriously speaking. And what made it worse, when I now went to his place, his abode, where he lives, he was in one room. One room apartment? After 15 years in UK, what has been happening to your life? Right? Meanwhile, that same week, one Sri Lankan man was given a 3-bedroom flat with garden at the back, garden in front, by Lewisham Council in UK. And this guy, when I interviewed him, he said he came 3 years ago. You came 3 years ago. This is a Yoruba man that has been here 15 years. And this man has the right to stay here. What have you been doing? Then I found out that Sri Lankan man, they have community in UK. Very mighty, powerful community. When a Sri Lankan comes from Sri Lanka to there, they will go to that community, then they will advise them what to do. I say, oh, this is what they do. Then he now called me they now called my attention to Chinese. When you call a Chinese man to come and fix your socket or fix plumbing or electric, when he called that Chinese man, he will come with 2 other Chinese. They will make 3 there. The 2 of them are new. They are just new in this country, right? They will be watching that one. By 2 months, that one they have learned, they have been trained and finished, and they can start working on their own. I discovered that. That was what pushed me to start the Yoruba Central Office. Why don't we have the same thing here? And I remember when I got here as well, if this kind of organization had been on at that time, I probably would have moved faster than I did move. Nobody to advise anybody, nobody to counsel anybody, nobody to share any idea with. And that was what the problem of this man is. Of course, today he's in a better position because we have shared information with him. Look at our brother now that is being detained. If there is no office like this, it was his lawyer that called me. I can read the message. The lawyer called me. If there was no office like this, they probably won't take him seriously. A lady here fought with her husband. The husband kicked her out, and the family kicked her out. They called us. I had to go to the police station and wrote statement 2 times in the middle of the night for this lady, so that they will not remove her from this country. So these are the kind of things that have not been there. Nobody does it. Yoruba doesn't have any community. In fact, we went to Google to search if there's any community. Then it doesn't exist. But when you search a Jewish community, it's all over the place, all over the map. For God's sake, why can't we do that? I was so touched by the case of this brother. And he was a man of God. I just said, no, we must start something. That was how we started. So we are not competing. If any other organization starts, well done to them. If they start their own office as well, doing what we are doing, they are welcome. Please, it's the more the merrier. The more the merrier. Let them carry it on. But one thing is that those that have been rooted, those that know what they are doing, those that have been called are the ones that will remain at the end of the day. If anybody say, we don't want to compete with Yoruba UK Central Office because they are doing this way, you want to do the same thing, you are welcome. Carry on doing it. Some people are called. Some people call themselves. After 1 or 2 years, we will know the difference. We will know how it goes. It's not easy to give voluntary work. It's not easy. If one is not ordained for it, it will fail. You don't do voluntary helping people with blood, God's creation, because you want to do it. No, you must be called. Even in our office, as we are, out of the 300, I know those that are called. I know those that just came in to be called because they want to be called honorable. Of course, we don't care. We don't mind about that. You have come in, you are in, you can be called to serve. You're honorable. We call ourselves honorable because we are more honored than the honorables in Nigeria, in the House of Assembly or in the Senate. Because those ones, they are being paid for their job. So what is honorable about it? You are being paid. What should you call yourself honorable? You are just a worker. But we in the UK and the Yoruba Central Office, we are not paid. Nobody's paid. In fact, we are also giving out our own funds. We are also donating and contributing and sending out money. I know how much I have sent personally this year, this month alone, that to date, I tell you. Yeah? So that is what you call honor. Honorably serving your people. Not people that call themselves honorable and are stealing. On top of their salary, they steal. They get allowances that they are not due to them. That kind of thing. I understand one governor said they shouldn't pay his retirement any money anymore. I read that off somewhere. I just like, well, thank you for this governor here. God bless you from Augustine. I say, God bless you. Maybe you are seeing it. I would have said that money, instead of stopping it, use it for something. That's what I would have said. Yes, you keep paying it, give it to charity, give it to this charity, send it to this mosque, send it to that church. I'll be directing them every month. Or you should go to the roundabouts and call all those young men that are at the bus stop that don't have job. Give them 20,000 each from the salary, for the allowance. That's what I would have done. But he said they should cancel it. That is the way we are different. So anyone that wants to set up anything similar to what we are doing, please, we encourage them. In fact, if they come to us for training, we will train them. We will share our experience with them. The more, the merrier. The more Yoruba people, and one thing I have to tell you today, I did a survey in 2020. 2020, I did a survey because I wanted to know, we are calling about Yoruba nation. We want the world, United Nations to accept us. And then I did a survey. How many people God said know about Yoruba in the world? How many? What percentage of the whole world has heard about Yoruba? Everybody. And I did that survey. We paid for it. Over £400 we paid for that survey to be done by Ipsos Morris. They came back and gave us 8%. And in fact, if you hear what some people say about Yoruba, you will be shocked. Some people say that it is some kind of food. The word Yoruba is some kind of food in China. Some people say it's some kind of animal from 1 million years ago. Some people say it's some kind of paper. You know, all kinds of things you hear about what Yoruba. They never heard about the word Yoruba at all in the world. And we want to get the nation. That was when we started the outreach program. We started with welfare. After this, from the incident I told you, now after the incident of doing the survey and we get the report 8%, I wasn't happy about that. The world doesn't know us yet. Let us start outreach program. That was how we started outreach. So we have welfare council and outreach council. Okay, so this is how we started. We were being inspired to solve a problem. It's from problem solving that gave birth to Yoruba Central Office Diaspora. We are here to solve problems. So I don't know anyone that wants to set it up. What will be the driving factor? What will be driving them? It's up to them, whoever it is. And then managing Yoruba is another kettle of fish entirely, within and outside. You know, you will start a thing, you have not even finished it. It's a project, you are still trying, and then some Yoruba will just come in and tell you that he knows better how to do it. What you have started, you are still studying, you are still planning to, and he wants to take over. You start a project you have not finished, and somebody will just declare a committee in between the work and then call people to come and start running. You just wonder, you are the project manager. You are still studying and looking how you're going to solve this problem. Then someone that is inside just decide to just take over the whole thing. That is Yoruba man for you. You just take over and start running. That is an experience that I'm sharing freely. Yeah.
What I wanted to find out more is about not just the setup. I'm talking about working with other organizations within the Yoruba nation struggle. As we know that we have other organizations, do you have any relationship, any kind of a working pattern, whether with, the other organizations that are also doing other similar things as against the welfare that you have decided, to embark on?
Yeah. All right. Let me go down there. Well, like I told you, there are 4 beneficiaries: Yoruba individuals, Yoruba groups and associations, number 3, Yoruba community, and number 4, Yoruba nation. So Yoruba nation is one of our beneficiaries. It's a beneficiary of our ability, our competency, of our resources. We deliver services to Yoruba nation, number 1. And Yoruba nation, there are a lot of organizations working and doing one thing or the other. Yes, one of them is the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement as an organization, YSDMO organization, where Baba Akitoye is the chairman of that organization. Okay, so we are also there as a council member of Yoruba Self-Determination Movement organization. Then we have Baba Akitoye himself, to solve a problem, started an office in his office from our recommendation. We are the one that recommended and gave a design of what the office should be. We did this before when he was in YWC. Unfortunately, we didn't get close to him. YWC changing then and all that before he stopped working. So we designed the office, how it will be organized, because he's the Yoruba nation leader. And we believe that many problems that the man went through last year could have been solved if he had a formal office set up. And we discussed it with him. He asked us to go ahead. We designed the Yoruba Nation Leaders Office to be a program management office. Yes, that was what it was designed, Yoruba Nation Program Management Office. And then we set it up. Baba himself accepted it and put in names. He gave the names of those people that will be working in that office. So we have 2 arms. There is the staff management, and there is the project management. So the staff management are very close to him. So he puts names there, and in the project he also puts names of people that will be doing some work in his office. That is his personal office. Like you go to Aso Rock President has offices, has advisors, have all kind of, it doesn't mean that there will be no minister of this, minister of that in the country. So this is the office of the Yoruba Nation leader. We believe that it is to solve problem. It was a problem-solving agenda that we offered. And thank God he accepted and filled it up with workers and so on and so forth. So that the office does things differently from everybody else. Organizations that are under YSDM, they have their own constitution, they have their own objectives. Each organization must have a scope of what they want to do, how far they can go, the powers that they have. That is called constitution or any kind of other governing document. So that is for those organizations under YSDM. YSDM is the umbrella for those organizations under them. So they have their own constitution as well. But Baba is the chairman of YSDM. Right? But not every organization is in YSDM. That is another thing. So, but as well, Baba is also the Yoruba Nation leader. His role as a Yoruba Nation leader is far higher than his role as a chairman of YSDM. Because YSDM, that he is a chairman of, is a registered organization. They are registered in America. I'm sure they have other trustees or directors or so. I don't know. That organization is registered in America. So it's one organization that is overseeing other groups. But Yoruba Nation leader, his role as a Yoruba Nation leader is higher than YSDM. Is higher than any other organization that is part of the Yoruba Nation. That is the fact. That is the truth. So he, as a Yoruba Nation leader, whether you are in YSDM or you're not in YSDM, this man deserves an office. Those problems we had last year and coming from Nominera 2020, those kind of things would not have happened because in the office, we would have advised him seriously, like many of us did at that time, on what could be. Yes, like even that one, so many other problems would have been solved. And problems are concerning funding, concerning money and all those things that were messy and, very unpalatable to hear, to taste, or very not nice to hear. Most of those problems would have been solved. So this office, Yoruba Nation Leaders Office, which we call Central Program Management Office, CPMO, is the office of the Yoruba Nation leader to protect the leader, to guide the leader, to be an ear to the ground and give feedback to the leader. Like I told you, he just called me today and he started talking about, so he wanted to know what we're feeling. Now I'm talking to you. If I have a feedback from here now, I'll let him know. You understand? We are the managers in his office. So Baba is a leader. He needs managers managing his office. You understand? There are two different. The role of a leader is different completely from the role of managers. Baba is a God-given manager. He is inspired. He does things by inspiration. That's the role of a manager. So he is inspired to do things. But we need people to manage whatever he wants to do so that those things will have organization process will be maintained. We are running so many projects for him now in that office, which will come to fruition, and the whole of Yoruba will know as a Yoruba Nation leader. Yes.
Because from what you were saying, I'm just looking at it from, without again mentioning names of different organizations in UK, but we can mention one like the BBC. Currently they have some issues they are dealing with presently. And I was listening to, the Director General of the BBC, yesterday, being interviewed in terms of dealing with the internal issues that they are facing in the last 72 hours. You've traveled to Benin Republic, and for the benefit of those that are listening to us around the world, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is STARR Radio UK, and this is Niger Voices, and we are discussing this evening, the Yoruba Central Office, Diaspora, the Yoruba Central Office, Diaspora update with Honorable Dr. Isaac Okebiorunkosi. Yeah. You were in Benin Republic. I don't know how long you were there for. What was the purpose of the trip or the journey? What was the outcome? You've told us that there's an office based there right now. That is the only thing we are aware of. We saw you, with the professor and also with CSI. What was the real reason for taking that trip to Benin Republic?
Baba is the Yoruba Nation leader. So he calls meeting from time to time. And not just me. He calls meetings of people, call people from home, I'm from America. There was a time myself, Baba Yiloge was there. Alagbala. These are people that are actually active in Yoruba nation struggle, leading one directorate or leading one organization or the other. So Baba, he's planning. He's the leader. So he calls. I don't just go to Benin Republic. He's the one that invites me to come, And because we are we are the consultant to the office, to the CPMO, Yoruba Central Office. We are like consultants. We are the one that designed it. And in fact, we were not meant to run it. He tried the first person. I think the one he called. It didn't work. He called the second person. It didn't work. Then he came back to me. Well, you are the one that designed it. Come and start running. It looks like nobody wants to come and run this place. That is how we got involved in the operation of it. We only designed and gave it to him. He was the one that put names of who and who will be working there. So he was one that called us to come and run it. That is how I got in there. He was one that said, okay, you be the director general. And that is how we started, because nobody else was there. We are the third, person. So we are there because he calls. He can say, come. It's not just me that he calls. He calls people from home, people from different places to discuss things, to discuss progress, and to discuss, that is how we got there. I don't go there because I want to go. There's so much for me to do at work, in UK. So, but when he calls and we find out we can make the journey, we go. You understand? That is how we got there. And the issue we discuss there are issues that are concerning the whole of Yoruba. Yeah, not just his office alone, the whole of Yoruba and all organizations, and I'm sure many people that he called maybe could not make it at that time. They can't make the journey, But we go there and we call. Nobody goes. I mean, there's no point going to him if he has not called. He's the one that invites us, and we go there if he has issues for us to discuss. And because he has an office now, I'm the DG. I'm the first person he will call anyway. If he wants to come and call up the office together. Of course, we hold meetings on Zoom. We have an assistant director at home now who is carrying on most of the work at home. So my going there is being reduced. For instance, that we had to meet a professor at Ile-Ife yesterday. On agricultural program for Yoruba Nation. That is one of our main projects. There are many other projects, some of which you are aware of. I don't need to go there now because we have a chief operating officer at home who is my assistant running the office. So he's doing that for us at home. You understand? So that was reducing my own journey going there. So I think that the frequency was high because we were only just starting at that time. So, and it's getting settled now. At that time it was very, they were chaotic. Some people say, oh, why should we have another office and all that stuff? I mean, I don't understand. This is the first thing that they should have thought of from day one. The moment he was appointed as Yoruba Nation leader, the next thing was having to create an office for him. But they didn't do that. Instead of creating an office for him, they create Elegbejegbe. And Elegbejegbe means everybody is equal. Egbe ni gbogbo wa now, you can't harass me. That's Elegbejegbe. But in the office, Elegbejegbe, seniority wa. There is seniority in the office. You can't mess around with your manager, with your leader. You'll be sacked, no matter how good you are. So they didn't do that for him then. And that caused a lot of problems. That derailed many things. Most of the people that were with him at that time, I challenged them. You are supposed to have built this office for Baba Akintoye. Built an office. Baba Akintoye is there today. We know God will help us and give him long life. Somebody else will be there tomorrow. The office will continue. We'll carry on we have a record of what he has done, and the new leader will carry on from there. Not start all over again. The kind of problem that they have in Nigeria. A new president, a new life. Everything done before is cancelled. A new governor cancels all the contracts they've done before and start all over again. That is Nigerian mentality. We want to have a formal office for the Yoruba Nation leader, such that any leader comes, will carry on. And it's not just him in the leadership, it is himself and CSI. Chief Sunday IGBOHO, they are the two of them in the leadership. In that diagram that we drew for establishing the Yoruba. So it's called Yoruba Nation Leadership Office. You understand? So that is it. So it is Baba Akintoye that invites us to Kutonu, and we go. And thanks
so much for those that have joined us. We are in discussion, with the update of the Yoruba Central Office, Diaspora UK Head Office, and as much as there's still a lot to discuss, it's just coming up to 19 minutes past 7 p.m. local time in London. A very beautiful weather out there. Very, very warm. And as we say to our listeners, make sure if you're traveling on the London Underground, take the bottled water with you, because it could be very hot underneath there. Let's now come back to Nigeria.
Yeah.
There's a new president. As many Yorubas believe that the struggle that started about 3 years ago maybe have stopped from these new president that also have the earmark of a Yoruba name. Not literally a Yoruba president, but we know that when we mention his name, it's linked with the Yoruba name. But his own agenda is different from the Yoruba nation struggle. What is your take with the Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Yorubas that are saying, why not all put a full stop to the Yoruba nation struggle while we see its own outcome?
We cannot put a full stop to Yoruba nation struggle. It is not possible, and it must not happen. It will not happen. Because Nigeria cannot single out Yoruba to make life better for us. You understand? Nigeria will not single out Yoruba. The kind of things that we will get when we have our own country, we cannot get them inside Nigeria, no matter the way it is organized. The structuring, federation, whatever they call it. No, it cannot be. You are still subject to the laws and the rules of Nigeria, which it is not made by Yoruba people. The way Hausa, Fulani people think is different from the way the Igbo man thinks. It's different from the way Yoruba people think. Let us use those three major tribes, major nations. We don't think alike. So it cannot work. Let him build and build and build. The one that will come after him will destroy it. What are they able to squander? Is it not something that some people built? Some people gather the wealth. When they come in there, they don't know how to gather. They know how to scatter. That's the problem with Nigeria. It is not a natural phenomenon. Nigeria is not a natural thing birthed by nature and spirit. No. It is birthed by commerce, by business. The people saw a land and they wanted to maximize their returns and profit. That is why they joined the whole thing together in 1914. You know all of this. So Nigeria cannot work. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the first educated president that Nigeria will ever have. Is the first educated. The other ones were just begging the question. I can say it loud and clear. Look at it now. He's an accountant, I'm told. Yeah? He's a businessman. You know that? He was a governor. Yeah? Which one of them was a governor? He managed a state, then came now for 2 sessions, then now come to manage a country. So he experienced. Of all of them, he's the best. And I remember the day that we were voting for Lagos. Bakito said that all Yoruba nations should go out and vote because he's a Yoruba man. So it is not an error. It's not just a coincidence. God is working some things out. Through him, some things will happen. Because those people that left the place, when they start feeling the pinch, this office is Yoruba person, that office is Yoruba person, that office is Yoruba person. You think they will keep quiet? No, this is just year 1. We are not even up to 6 months yet. Let's see what happens by the end of the year. They won't keep quiet. Those things that were coming to them is blocking it now. All those petrol stealing and, is blocking it. Foreign exchange is coming to merge both the black market and the official rate and all that stuff. They will cry. They will take steps. They will take steps. You must be warned. They will take steps. I can assure you. So when the steps comes, then we will have to take a decision. I know Baba Kitwe cannot say this kind of thing. Somebody can, but I can say it. I can say it as a young man, as a, we say the truth here, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So we will advise our president, Baba Ahmed Tinubu, to be properly organized, to properly plan ahead. You cannot be the president of Nigeria and be the president of Yoruba at the same time. Nigerian constitution does not allow you. You cannot favor Yoruba because you are Yoruba. But we saw what the past president did. He favored his people. And nobody complained. He favored the Fulani people. He brought them in millions. Yeah, gave them PVC or whatever they go collecting there to come. Yeah. When the man finished, he went to Niger. When he finished his presidency, he went to where he loved most. He went to Niger. He just came back from Niger. I saw something, So that's where his heart is. So the man has been helping his people. But we are more intelligent. We look at a nation. That is what Baba Ahmed Tinubu is doing. He's looking at this is a country now. Let us govern as a country. That is the mentality that we have. And there is something about Yoruba people. We like people foreigners. We like people, foreign people, visitors. We take care of them. We can what's it called now? We can sacrifice our meal, our evening dinner for a visitor to eat, and we take gari and water and go and sleep. That is where we are created. Somehow I believe that's going to pay us. But Baba Ahmed Tinubu should not sleep with two eyes. Those guys, they might just say, they give it to you because they think that Yoruba nation is going to go. If it doesn't give it to Yoruba this time around, he says our Lokon, Yoruba nation, Lokon. He said so in one of his recordings. They had those words. They might say, if you don't give this man, he can influence the whole of Yoruba and they will go. And that is true. Yeah, he can influence the whole of Yoruba. But that is not the end of the question. They only stepped aside. If I should borrow the language of IBB, he stepped aside. I can assure you they only stepped aside. These people don't go. They always step aside. If you offend a Fulani man, 20 years after, he will still come back to revenge. That is the way they are. That is their nature.
So if I can hear you clearly, if we look back at the trajectory or the projection of Afghanistan, America spent billions of dollars. They spent about 2 decades, and at one point they had a timeline to evacuate, and they even left behind weapons. Even at some point we were told that money was found by the Taliban and of such.
Yes.
Tinubu, a lot of Yoruba do not believe in the struggle because of Bola Tinubu, and that is a problem, trying to project and promote, a movement of such like this to so many Yoruba people, because they believe that we are planning to stop, Tinubu becoming the president. That so far is no longer there. He has even been given, the chairman of ECOWAS that we're going to talk about as well. Can we literally say that Tinubu will be an advantage for the Yoruba nation movement? Or should we just say, just like you've explained, Tinubu will just work to try and bring governance that Nigerians have not really enjoyed? How is going to manage that, especially, with the amount of debt that Nigeria has presently? What is in between the Yorubas that believe in the political terrain of the new dispensation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Yoruba that believe in the leadership of the Professor Adebanji Akintoye, that is looking at the future while, quote and unquote, Bola Tinubu will have the first 4 years that he has been given. He might have the next 4 years. He will be 87 by the time he has the complete 2 section in 2031, God's willing. But we are talking about a long-term Yoruba nation that will save the indigenous people. How do we relate to this?
The relationship between Yoruba nation and Yoruba government, yes, the machination of that relationship rests squarely on the shoulder of Professor Banji Akintoye. Is the Yoruba nation leader. So all options are on his desk. Many of us have made suggestions and recommendations. They are with him. He's the one that decides. He's the one that leads, and we all follow. We all follow. So, but my own little way, I'm not Tinubu, I'm not Akintoye, they are Babawala, they are our fathers. So they know themselves, actually. They've worked together in one time or the other. And you remember there was one video recording that Baba Akintoye made. He was sitting, he said, if they asked him to produce one person, you remember, he said,
I remember
he said it's Bola Tinubu that he will vote. And he said that the man did wonderfully at that time. It was phenomenal. That was his recommendation. I'm sure Bola Tinubu, Baba Tinubu would have had something like that. People around him would have given him recommendation. They cannot hurt one another. I am not sure Baba Akintoye will do anything that will hurt him. Remember, he said we should all go and vote, even when we are still talking about struggling for Yoruba country during the election time. So he will not do anything to hurt Baba Tinubu. In actual fact, during the election, Baba Akintoye told us, and we make sure in the office and everywhere, that we should pipe things low, make it quiet. We don't, we go low during that election time, so that we don't
Would that not make the suggestion that is also filtering from the other groups that we're going to talk about, that Baba Akintoye is actually working for Bola Tinubu? Because what you're saying right now, does that really imply to such that Baba Akintoye was the Tinubu working behind the scene? No. We've asked Baba Akintoye these questions heartily, closely, many, many times, and the Baba still remains no going back. Just as you hear Baba, Dr. Sunday Igboho will say, no going back. In fact, I'm adding that no looking back, because you may not go back, but you may be looking back. For me, no looking back. It's different, yes. No looking back. That's why we are still doing what we are doing. Baba Akintoye has never, ever relinquished his role, and there's a drive for Yoruba nation. That Yoruba self-determination movement is top agenda. And I can tell you that is his heartbeat. That is what is keeping him alive. And by God's grace, he will be there for many, many years to actualize this the dream, to actualize it. So it is not. The only issue is that Baba Bola Tinubu is Yoruba. He's a member of Yoruba nation. Every Yoruba is Yoruba nation now. Every Yoruba is a Yoruba. It's a nation of Yoruba. Whether you know it or not, once you are born Yoruba person, whether you agree to it or not, you are a member. You are an indigene. Yoruba indigene. You are a nation. You are a nation. You can be saying no on the paper, but in life, really, you are born there. God has put you there. Spiritually speaking, you cannot say you are not Yoruba. You understand? So he's the Yoruba person. How can Yoruba now be fighting Yoruba? It is a lot of wisdom that the Baba is playing and studying and praying to find out how to deal with this matter. A lot depends on Baba Tinubu. A lot depends on him, on the president. A lot depends on him. And we pray that God will give him wisdom and give him sight to see what we are seeing, right? What is Nigeria? What is Yoruba? A time is coming when he has to decide, so that he doesn't use Nigeria to scatter Yoruba, things like that. That is the point. He's got to really think properly, think deep. When the dice are cast, one problem that put us in here was one man. I don't know what Yoruba man has said. No, let us go with them. One person said, you remember that story? Is it 1959 or 1960? And one person said no. That was the point where we got into trouble. They should have gone like in 1960. The independence should have put the directorate apart. Protectorate. Northern Protectorate, you go on your own. Southern Protectorate, go on your own. That independence should have been the separation of the Protectorate. But they didn't achieve it then. That is what put us into trouble now. If you have a federation, whatever it is, whatever happened in 1967 will repeat itself. Some kind of young people in the army will just wake up one morning and just decide that, look, what are we doing? We need some money. They will take over. History will repeat itself. If you go the way of 1960 to 1967, it will repeat itself. We have been told that we are not the same human animals. We cannot live in the same zoo. No, we cannot open all of us in the same zoo. They are dividing themselves now. That is what is happening. Yoruba, the people in Nigeria are dividing themselves. So a lot will depend on the president regarding this Yoruba nation. A lot will depend on him. And we need to tell him that he's got to play it right. Because history will not forgive his family, will not forgive his children. Everybody knows them. At this point where, and some people are already feeling that it's like Baba Obasanjo, one Nigeria. Baba Obasanjo doesn't want to hear about Yoruba nation. That's what we are told. I don't know whether it's true or false, but that is the. He actually said so. It's not about what we are told. I heard him in a recording that he actually said that he believes in one Nigerianness than Yorubaness. Let's drift back a little bit. We're still going to touch on the ECOWAS. I want to come back into the central office.
Yes.
How do you run this operation when it comes to managing it fund-wise? You're registered in UK. Is a charity organization. Do you get support from the UK government in terms of this charity, or do you rely on the public, to support, the organization, in terms of its funding? Because every charity organization is looking for funding to run the operation of such organization.
Yeah.
How do you run your own organization fund-wise?
Thank you very much. We've tried to raise simple, donations, raise donations. That is how charity organizations are run. They are run through donations. People that are inspired and to give, and there are two kinds of donations. There is one that is called core funding. Core funding is the thing you use to run the office and pay all the office petty things like telephone, like website, meetings, and such things, online. That's core funding. Then we have, if we run specific projects, yes, we can raise funds from the public to run those projects. So those funds are attached to projects. They cannot be used for anything else. But core funding is at the discretion of the office. So we need those two funds. When we started, we sent out some advertisement that we should donate £10 per month, Yoruba each. For some reason, it is not flowing in the way we expected it. Probably because there's no much publicity, maybe that is why, and so on and so forth. But we want to start all over again to make more publicity like we're doing now, talking to our Yoruba people, and then we want to let them appreciate what we are doing. Maybe, and some of the people that we have, helped, if they can square up, come forward and testify publicly, maybe that will also help. Most of people are shy to come forward, to show their faces, but that's another issue. But of course, we see them, we cannot bring them up. You have to decide. But we do this work. How are we raising funds? Few people are giving £5 and £2, and maybe one or two people £10. That doesn't amount to much. So those of us internal, our own workers, our own staff, they are the ones, donating for what we are, for the costs that we are incurring in the course of our
even as they continue to work as volunteers.
Yes, you work as volunteers, and we all donate. Every one of us donate. Our trustees too, they help sometimes in donating because most of them are retirees. They are pensioners. So there's so much you can,
At about 8 o'clock, we will speak, Yoruba, for the last half an hour for summarization of what we have discussed. That is in the next, 23 minutes or thereabout. There's an outing coming up on the 29th that I've been able to see the information. What is it all about? And, how those days make any relevant to what you are doing as a central office? And, if you want to share more about that outing.
It's our decision that it's not just about the people that call for help that we're there for. We're also there, all our workers and members, we're also there to meet and greet. And this time around, we actually opened it up to all Yoruba that are interested in meeting together. Because staying apart and people minding their own businesses in this country, it's not the way it is back home, whereby you have sister, you have cousin, you have friends, you can meet and all that. But in UK, you keep to yourself. You can be in a flat, you don't know the next neighbor for over 15 years. This is happening to me. I'm in number 3. I don't know who's living in number 2. I don't even know them. The lady number 4, maybe we meet once in 2 months at the door. So that kind of life is not our nature. It's not for Yoruba people. That's not the way our culture, our social standing is. So we try to make Yoruba people to come together. We have a place we meet at Camberwell. We used to meet at Camberwell. But because of some reason, we want also to be able to make sure that when our people come there, they are comfortable. So we're still working on that. But now we meet at Woolwich Library. They are so happy to give us a whole big hall. They can take up to 20, 30 people, hall in Woolwich Library, where we meet every Saturday from 2 o'clock to 4:30. So that meeting is like a project center. If anybody has any
Can you repeat
issue,
the timing again? Can you repeat the time for
2 to
the Woolwich
4:30.
Library? So
Woolwich
again,
Library,
for the benefit of anyone that wants to engage with the Yoruba Central Office, Woolwich Library, I'll be giving you, the details of the address for those that are not living, in London, and maybe you might also make sure you are calling to confirm that they will be there. Maybe there are some days that they might not be there. So Woolwich Library
every Saturday
is literally in Southeast London, SE 18 6 Hotel Kilbert, 35 Wellington Street, London. Woolwich Centre Library, it is called, where you can meet with the Yoruba Central Office between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's a good 2 hours window. I'm not sure whether even the MP surgery is up to 2 hours anymore. I haven't attended one for a very long time. But it used to be one area that I love. Yeah.
2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Yes.
Okay. So if you're living in UK, go ahead.
Because they close just before 5, so we leave there at 4:30. Yes. So every Saturday.
Again. United Kingdom, all these we'll discuss, in summary anyway, for the benefit of those that wants to hear the mother tongue language. Bear with us because we are communicating with the global community, not just the Yoruba this time around, and that is why we have been flowing in this language that we are discussing this conversation. Let me come back again to you. You are still telling us more about the outing on the 29th and how people can get involved.
Yes. Well, I've given the number. If anybody wants to join on an outing, we're going to we're going to the beach. I'll give you the details in a minute. Yeah, that's where we're going on the 29th of the 29th, right?
Of this month.
Of this month, yes, 29th, just from the 2-3 weeks. Time. Folkestone Beach. That's where we are going.
Okay.
Yes, Folkestone Beach. That's where we're going on the 29th of this month, of 29th of July. So we're taking off from Woolwich, from that library itself. The bus, we have rented a bus. The bus is coming there, a coach, taking everyone there and then back to the same spot. But those that are not living in London, want to meet there, make sure you arrive there. It's just there's all the things have been provided, but the food is £35. You can phone the office. We'll give you the account and link you to the project leader. There's a project leader, Honorable Jennifer Adesoya, is in charge of that trip. So I can give you our contact details so you communicate. They'll tell you what is required. We have our cap, we have a polo shirt, we have t-shirts. If you are interested in that, it's very good to carry on. There'll be more other materials you're going to get, on the day. So that's an outing for all Yoruba that are interested in coming, and sharing, felicitating, meeting and greeting, enjoying yourself. There's food there and drink. That is what the £35 is for, right? Please call. I think we don't have much space left. Call Honorable Jenny Adesoya, and the office number is 07799127851. If you call that office, now we will give you the contact to Honorable Adesoya, Jennifer Adesoya. Okay, so that's the we're planning, to start chillaxing, start going out. Start mixing, meet new people. Let Yoruba people begin to come together. It is the first time that we will have an outing like this. And I want to thank Honorable Jenny Adesoya and the project team that are handling that particular program. They've done very, very well. They got all the bookings, they got all the materials, they arranging the food. God just made it easy for them. So, and we're contributing funds. Those that are going are contributing. They already done the calculation. They've done the calculation. They know how much. Just £35 for a whole day from 8 o'clock and to get back around 6 p.m. or so. So if you call the office, 07799127851, it is first come, first serve. so that you can go over the coach. And if you don't meet the coach, you want to drive there to Folkestone Beach, you can get there, but then you need to contribute. Yeah, you need to pay like other people to be part of the goody. Yeah.
So the takeoff point is going to be Woolwich SE18 from 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You should be there 1 hour, no African time, as the coach will leave at exactly 9 a.m. This is coming on the 29th of July 2023, returning back by 6:30, and the cost of that is £35. Polo cap is 25, but it's not compulsory, but it will be nice for those that wants to put on such, so that it brings that, cordons and everything together. We will be discussing that, and I'll be, sharing more of information of that to our viewers around the world. Let's come back again before we get to the last half an hour of the program. We've just had that Bola Tinubu, the president, is now the chairman of ECOWAS. I understand that ECOWAS, I don't know whether it's this organized. I know Nigeria seems to be funding it, just like the American is funding the United Nations. What difference would this make to Nigeria as we look to Nigeria? There's a lot of issues affecting Nigerians and the indigenous people that are the Yorubas. What is your take, when this news filtered out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Nigerian Bola Tinubu, has been elected the chairman of ECOWAS, which is the West African head of state, on Sunday? Have chosen the Nigerian new president Bola Ahmed Tinubu to lead their regional bloc for the next year, replacing the Guinea-Bissau leader Umaru Sissoco Embalo, according to the report. ECOWAS has always been the West African Economic and Monetary Union. I've been looking at ECOWAS, looking at Nigeria. Do you think that Nigeria can come back?
I don't know what decision, how they did this. I think that if you asked me, I would have said it was a bit early. There are problems economic problems in Nigeria itself. I don't know whether it was the best decision that it was Nigeria now with so much problem that would be the chair to lead the economic community of West African states. I'm not sure, because at home there is problem, serious problems. When the Naira has crossed the 1,000 marks, today it is 1,025. If it's not going to 1,030 to £1. I shed tears the day I saw 1,000. I never thought that it would ever. I thought it would ever go to start going down, back down. Once we had the president, elected, it's supposed to improve the value of Naira. Rather than improving the value of Naira, it now made it even worse at a faster rate. Whatever is happening is very, very. It's against every. I don't understand. So is it Nigeria now with all the problems, economic problems, with all the fraud and all the things that is going on? You see struggling and battling and all that with petroleum and thieves all over the place. They'll become the chairman. Well, they must have their reason for electing him. Well, of course, and as usual, as a Yoruba person, we wish him well for taking on that. He was emerged the chairman of Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic of ECOWAS, chairman of an Authority of Heads of States and of ECOWAS on Sunday. Very good. We wish him well and pray for success. Well, I think that there is more problem at home to attend to than other areas. Of course, not only ECOWAS, the whole of African Union. There's been a lot of drive in the recent years, past 2-3 years, for African countries to come together. It depends on what he's thinking about that. This economy will have to drive that decision. West Africa can help drive that decision to make it fruitful. Yes, we wish him well. As the chairman of ECOWAS. The
29. Looking at the letter that Professor Banji Akinkunmi, the Oracle, sent to the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the 30th of May. I don't know whether you've had the privilege, of seeing that letter. If otherwise, I would just give you, some of the heads up in that, letter. But the letter contained also details. And, this is just a brief of this letter. Let me quickly read it out, because there's a point that I want us to talk about there that has to do with the Yoruba people. And that literally means that, whether we want to remain in Nigeria, for those that wants to, I am not one of those. I have literally said that Nigeria needs to now dissolve so that we can have, a way forward. But that doesn't seem to be the idea of some of our, Yoruba people, as we say. I'm just going to move swiftly with the letter because of the time. But what I want to touch on, this man-made contortion of order demonstrate the fundamental bankruptcy and the essential non-sustainability of the Nigerian state, which our brother must now lead. It is a particular noteworthy that all the electoral cycle under the successfully fraudulent constitution of Nigeria since 1959 have ended up unutterably in controversy, that are irresolvable and that are ultimately never resolved. That is the same scenario. Also, during the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, according to what we know, 29,000 Yoruba people died, whether because of the terrorism activities on the ground, whether because of the poverty and the economic. What is your take when you look back to the 8 years of the former president Muhammadu Buhari in charge of Nigeria as a central office, now have to deal with the influx of more Yoruba people that have managed to find their way, even though as many of our Yoruba are still in Nigeria, but those that have arrived in the UK is also to the fact that they are running away because of the insecurity, lack of opportunity. What is your take with the former president Muhammadu Buhari in charge for 8 years and 20? I mean, we were not in civil war, but we lost 29,000 of Yoruba people. These are human beings. Dr. Okebiorunkosi, Honorable.
Yeah, well, this is a legal matter. Everybody should be called after your office. There should be part of the constitution that says that you will be called to account for those things that happen. That is more like genocide. 29,000 people is decision by the government to kill them, as far as I'm concerned. Because if they look the other side, when people are dying, in Kaduna they died. A lot of people in the north were killed for no reason. What the government can support. All those people that came in, all those Boko Haram and the rest of them, and whatever they call them, that is what Nigeria has paid so much budget for army, for navy, for air force, for police. They give so much, and in the same country. And this is a man that was formerly a military general. Sometimes I just wonder what happened. Is this not the same man that came that gave us war against indiscipline? That was all over the place and everybody was thanking and jumping and praising him? Why? Everywhere you go is why. You can't, at that time, you can't drop a piece of paper on the streets. You hear everybody shout, why? This same general, he was the one then with the Diaspora that passed out. He was the general. You understand? So we expected so much. We expected, including me, I expected far, far much, but I don't understand. Nobody understood. When he started, he was chasing people that stole money and defrauded the country. And then all of a sudden, at the point, we didn't hear that anymore. And then, things were going out of order. And it was out of control. So for him, I mean, I don't know what the law says of the country says. He should be called to account for his stewardship during his 8 years. I think that it went from bad to worse. The whole country went from bad to worse. That is my own personal assessment. Anybody else can have their own other assessment. But from those of us outside watching how Nigeria was playing the football, these people, the spectators, they see better. Spectators, they see people on field, football field, they see you better than you can see yourself. We that are not there are away. We have a room to compare. What is happening in different countries as against what is happening back home. We expected development. We expected progress. We expected sound judgment. But I don't know. The people there, at home don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. And if you talk too much, they will send some group of soldiers or whatever to come and harass you or even kill you. That was what's happening. Remember Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho?
I was almost going to talk about that.
He didn't kill anybody. Yet 200 soldiers came in the midnight. Come on. For God's sake. I mean, that already defined that country. You have the right to bring a search warrant into someone's house during the day. You have all the right to bring a search warrant to his house in the day and tell him that you want to search. You have a search warrant. You have a right to arrest him for questioning. Why didn't you do that? Why did you have to go in the middle of the night? Why did you want to kill him? I don't understand. Something is totally wrong with that place called Nigeria. Something totally wrong. I don't know what Baba Tinubu wants to do. I don't think he can achieve much because they will rise up against him. Yes, I can assure you that.
All right. Because of my time, and like I said, at 8 o'clock, I want us to summarize everything that we've been discussing on the Yoruba Nation Central Office and other issues in Yoruba language for as many of our listeners back home. Bola Tinubu and Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, you met him in Benin Republic. A lot of messages are coming out every now and then that it should be pardoned. It should be apologizing on behalf of him to the new president, Bola Tinubu, to forgive him. What is your take on that? As somebody that met him in person, in the period of days that you spent in Benin Republic, and looking at, we've talked about Buhari that led to why Igboho
No. He cannot ask for forgiveness. This thing has gone beyond personality. It's gone to the court. And the court has judged, and they said that they should pay him 25 billion naira.
20 billion.
But that 20 billion, that was 20 billion 2 years ago. It is not 20 billion today. You got to do the index. Yes, the value of naira has fallen. So that 20 billion might be 30 billion today, the equivalent. So you got to talk the right thing. Yes, it's no longer. The value has fallen. 20 billion 2 years ago is not 20 billion naira today. They've judged. Why has Nigeria not executed the judgment? That is what we should be asking about Bola Tinubu. He should show a heart. If we continues like this, the president continues like this, and we don't see heart, feel of human beings in him, I can assure you we will all go back against him. Yoruba people will turn their backs against him. Heart is different from brain, from mind. With your brain, you do calculation, you do accounting, but with your heart, you show love, you show passion to people. This man reached passion. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't kill a fly. He didn't kill anything. He didn't, whatever it was then, he said, don't destroy my people. That's all. For God's sake. And then they came to kill him in the night. I mean, every one of them in the government should go out in shame. You have all the powers. Why don't use your power for arrest? If the president order an arrest, nobody can say no. He will go and see the president. He will go and see the IG, whatever IGP, or he will go. But they didn't do that. Why did they come to kill him and brought in all kind of machineries to kill the young man? For God's sake, why? Why? Up to now, nobody has answered that question. The people they killed in his house, they don't have that heart to give their bodies. And they think things will go right in that country? Never, ever. The blood of those people that died is cry for vengeance. For the God Almighty. It doesn't matter. Babala Tinubu better use his few time quickly and plan to get out from there. The blood of those innocent people that are killed is crying for vengeance. And God will avenge. I'm telling you. It will start from the people that claim to be the leaders of the country. That's where it's going to start from. Things will happen. I can assure you. Because innocently, they kill people. Yeah, it's not right. It's not done. That is why you have a government to judge, righteously. to judge righteously, to stand up for the people on the land. Everybody on that land has a right to the land, has a right. That is why they call it a country, a nation, a Yoruba state. Everybody in Nigeria has a right. You don't just come and kill. And the people that have been paid by our blood, I mean, the money they pay the army, the money they pay the soldiers, is it not from the people working in Nigeria? Is it not people that work and with their sweat? They pay tax. From the tax, you pay you pay soldiers, you pay police. Why should they now that are being paid from the public funds come and start killing the public? Can you do that in UK? My brother, you live here. Can you do it in UK? You are being paid from public funds. You now start killing the public that is giving you money. And then the government see that doesn't do anything. They'll have an entourage of 25 cars, 30 cars behind them. They are in bulletproof cars. Yes, all about themselves. Yeah, and you think that you just go like that? There's going to be repercussion. There's going to be serious judgment, serious vengeance. The blood of those that die, innocent blood, people that die, is crying for vengeance. And I tell you, God will avenge them speedily. It is not fair. This man didn't do anything. They went to harass him and send him out. It's not fair. It's not fair. The president must have a heart. I'm saying it. He must have a heart. That is what God is checking for. Not just come and run Nigeria and and run the money and be the NNPC about oil. And that is not human beings are the one you are governing, not money, not the buildings. You are governing human beings. You are a president over human beings. You are president over the people that God put there. It's not by accident. God knows it before you were born, and you are born in Ijebu-Ode, or you are born in Ekiti, or you don't decide that. You didn't decide your parents. You were born in Osun, you are born in Eko, you are born in Kaduna, you are born in Enugu. It's not your decision. It's God that decided it. And you are now being made a president, a governor, over these souls, over this blood and flesh. And you want to mess it around, you think you will not, you will, there will be judgment. There will be judgment. I tell you, many people are calling for judgment. And I have joined them to call for judgment. So Baba Tinubu will do well to look at his heart. Govern people from your heart. People that are praying, people that are in trouble, people that are poor. Change the poverty. You know, in this country, if you are not working, there is a social security. They will give you some money every month that you can use to pay your rent, buy your food, and things like that. Why can't they start introducing that? There is a list of people that are very poor. You can create it, you can get it. Do something. Not building one refinery or building one hospital. Hospitals are good. Or building one road. Or building. You can build, but make sure you balance it. The care of the people in need comes first. The care of the people in need comes first. And then you develop their mind to understand that they need to take care of themselves as well. You know, take care of them as much as possible. Develop their mind to make sure that they take care of themselves. That is what we should be doing as leaders. A president is a leader. A governor is a leader. Even local council chairmen, they are leaders. So these people that are created by God, you didn't make them. So you are a leader over them. They voted for you. That's another point. They voted for you to come and govern them. For God's sake, don't start killing them. So Baba CSI should not. I don't know what beg for what. What should he beg for? There's the judgment that the man is not guilty, right? The judgment has been passed, and with the award damages to Nigeria, to federal government, that they should pay him 25 billion at that time, which by today's index should be around 35 billion. So they should review that amount. It cannot be 25 billion because that value is not the same value today. I'm paying him and let the man be free to run his life. That is it. He's not fighting anybody. He didn't carry any gun. So that is my take after that.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to come to the final part of the conversation, which is going to be a summary in Yoruba language. But let's appreciate those that are watching us from around the world. Mrs. Bimileke, Mrs. Elizabeth, Adesonya, Oladele, Olamilekan, AY, Mr. Adegoke, David, say we really appreciate you. Always there to tell the truth. Mr. Fab say Tunde was the brain behind it, then not even Buhari. I believe he's talking about Tunde Diagbon. Also, Mr. Additional, Bishop Additional say they understand that they want Nigerian leaders to be busy with ECOWAS issue and not concentrate back home. That can be advantage for them. Again, every Saturday, you can meet up with the central office between 2 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. at the Woolwich Library as
in
well.
London.
On the 29th, there's an outing going to Folkestone Beach, CT 22 JP Kent. The takeoff point again will be at Woolwich, 9 a.m. No African time to return at 6:30. That costs you £35. If you're traveling on your own, you still have to pay a bit of cost towards the Mary as well. Ajayi Olawure, thank you so much to all the central office that are working, whether in UK, outside the country. We appreciate the job that you are doing. Like I said, it's a year plus that around the world. It's almost a year plus that we had, Dr. Okebiorunkosi Isaac with us. Thank you so much, Alaja Irat Adeyeye. Is there any organization in South Africa? Somebody just asked.
Yes, we have an office in South Africa. We have our ECCO there. Yes, in fact, the man just got a new wife. Just got married. Okay, congratulations.
So again, if you want to reach out
we have an
to
office
the central
in South Africa.
office, it is ECCO@YUKJB.org. Again, that is
YUKGB.
YUKGB.
GB. Yes, that's the ECCO.
Okay, that's what I said. Yes.
Okay, all right.
At YUKJB.
No, not JB.
G.
Yeah, correct.
G. Yeah. Okay, let me just read it out. Echo Charlie Oscar at Yankee Uniform Kilo Gilbert Bravo.org. That is the email if you want to know which country that is representing the central office, wherever you are around the world. Let me appreciate Wahid Oluwasegun as well. Once again, so those of you that are out there, we appreciate each and every single one of you. OLAMILEKAN Ope, Musili Oshekeye, and as many of you that are listening to us on the STARR Radio UK network as well. John Muyiwa, Ogumuyiwa, thank you so much for listening. Ganiolo Yede, we will be speaking in Yoruba for the next 25 minutes or thereabout, or less than 20 minutes because the program ends at exactly 8:30. Dr. Okebiorunkosi, ẹ ṣé tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò tí à ń pè ní Naija Voices lórí STARR Radio UK. Níbi tí a ti máa ń mú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn wá láti wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa in tí olúkálukú ń ṣe. Ẹ̀yin ti wà nínú ara àwọn tí wọ́n ń darí ètò Yorùbá Nation. Ẹ ti ń bá wa ṣàlàyé lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì fáǹfààní àwọn tí wọ́n ti ń gbọ́ wa láti bí wákàtí méjì. Ní ìwọ̀nba wákàtí díẹ̀ tí a ní nísìn, ẹ bá wa ṣe àlàyé ráńpẹ́ lórí ìrìn àjò Central Office tí ẹ̀ ń bá bọ̀. Ọdún kan lénìí ni a bá yín sọ̀rọ̀, ó ti pé ọdún kan àtoṣù bíi mẹ́ta tí a ti mọ̀ nípa ètò tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí. Ẹ bá wa nà níbẹ̀, ẹ bá wa ṣàlàyé díẹ̀ fún gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó ń gbọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀. Iṣẹ́ tí à ń ṣe ní ìtọ́jú àti support fún àwọn Yorùbá. Ẹni tó bá ní ìṣòro, tó bá ní problem, tó bá ní ìrànlọ́wọ́, nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ lókè òkun. Alákẹ́ pé òkè òkun ló ń gbé ni o, tàbí ilé ló ń gbé ní orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá nílé. Tó dẹ̀ nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ níbi tí òun mẹ́ni tó máa bá sọ̀rọ̀. Bóyá èèyàn wà ń bí o fẹ́ wá sí bí o ní bàbá o ní ìyá o lẹ́gbọ̀n o lábúrò anybody o need information àbí àwọn kankan ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣe pé o fẹ́ ẹni tó máa bá yẹn dá sí fẹ́ lọ sí court ẹ fẹ́ pọ̀ ọlọ́pàá things like that ṣe pé ẹ nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ Yorùbá ibẹ̀ ni ọ́fíìsì wa wà fún welfare gbogbo Yorùbá bóyá nílé àti lóko. Àwọn kan for instance now àwọn kan fẹ́ travel, bàbá wà ní Amẹ́ríkà pẹ̀lú ìyàwó, àwọn ọmọ fẹ́ wá láti Nàìjíríà wá sí UK, wọn ò débí rí, àtẹ̀gbọ́n àtàbúrò wọn ò débí rí. Bàbá ní UK ó bá pe central office pé àwọn ọmọ òun bọ̀ níjọ́ báyìí jọ ṣe understand ọ pé ẹ̀gbọ́n máa dé níjọ́ Sunday, àbúrò adé níjọ́ Thursday, wọ́n fẹ́ wá kàwé ní UK, wọn ò débí rí, wọn ò mọ anybody, kò sí family, kò sẹ́ni. In fact ẹlòmíì gan lè ní family tí ò ní fẹ́ kí kò ń fẹ́ disturb family òun, ó kàn fẹ́ wá, wọn ò débí rí. Bàbá ló pè wá láti America and no problem, wọ́n fún wa lórúkọ wọn, wọ́n fún wa níjọ́ tó máa dé. A lọ sí airport láti lọ pàdé ẹ̀gbọ́n, níjọ́ Thursday a lọ sí airport láti lọ pàdé àbúrò. Ẹ̀gbọ́n school ẹ̀ wà ní London, a gbé lọ síbi tí ó máa gbé lálẹ́ ẹjọ́ Sunday yẹn. Ọjọ́ Thursday tí àbúrò dé school tiẹ̀ Leicester ló wà kì í ṣe ní UK, right? So ìkan nínú wa àwọn fún àbúrò yẹn nílé, so a gbé láti airport, èmi ni mo wá gbé láti airport lọ pàdé wọn, gbé wọn wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ wa, ó stay there overnight. The following morning a gbé lọ sí Leicester. Bàbá ti pè wá, it is our job to make sure, láti America ni bàbá àti àmọ̀mọ́ ti pè wá bí, and they were so happy to that. Adé lọ drop wọn irú àwọn kan bá wọn yẹn, àwọn yẹn ṣẹ̀ dé UK, ìyàwó ló ń lọ sí school, ọkọ ò tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́, kí ló lè ṣe? Àwọn méjì bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ti pè mí lọ́sẹ̀ yìí, mo dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé fún nǹkan tẹ́ lè ṣe láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́. I mean, ó wá síbi láti wá kàwé, so you can work. Àbẹ̀bẹ̀ẹ̀kọ́, so how do you go about it? You don't know it because o gbé bí rí, àwa tá a wà ń bí la máa sọ fọ̀nà you understand? So that rúkọ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sáwà kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí, in fact kò wá kàwé ni aláti fọ̀nà hàn bó ṣe ń rí bí, kò sẹ́ni tó máa pè tó máa dá ẹ lóhùn, kò tó bá pè central office, ìwọ ni àwa ni the next king for you, àdá wọn lóhùn. Oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀, èyí tí ó fẹ́ yàwó tí wà ní Scotland, ìyàwó kan déédéé gbọ́ ọmọ mẹ́rin, ó dẹ̀ disappear, ó pè central office. Bó ṣe pè wá báyìí, a ṣe pè lọ́ọ̀yà wa nìyẹn, a get involved pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá, wọ́n wá obìnrin yẹn kan níbi tó sá lọ sí, wọ́n gbọ́ ọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, wọ́n wá kan gbọ́ ọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, dá padà fún oríṣiríṣi cases mo tẹ̀lé rántí ni, obìnrin tó gbọ́, ẹ̀yin náà rántí ṣé ọdún méjì ni, ó gẹ́ ẹ̀kan tó gbọ́ ọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tó ń lọ náà pé ó ya wèrè, you remember? àìṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn, wọ́n gbé lọ sí Omachi hospital, so kò sẹ́ni gbẹ̀yìn ò lẹ́nìbọ̀dì tó máa ràn lọ́wọ́, wọ́n dẹ̀ ti gbọ́ ọmọ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, wọ́n ti arrange social kìíní láti gbọ́ ọmọ lọ. Mo ṣe pè wá nìyẹn, adé hospital yẹn o, lọ́ọ̀yà táwọn pé ọ̀lẹ́tàn ló máa defend ẹ̀ bá ṣe change ẹ̀ kúrò nìyẹn, a fi Yorùbá lọ́ọ̀yà wá sí. lónìí báyìí mo sọ fún yín pé wọ́n ti fún ní woman yẹn, ó ti nílé, ti ní council house, ó ti pẹ̀lú àti ọmọ ẹ̀, living happily. lónìí bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀. So ìjà láàrin ọkọ àtìyàwó aláwọn àgbààgbà Yorùbá wọ́n lè bá yín dá sí, láti make sure wípé lè kó máa kóra yín lọ bá àwọn ọlọ́pàá all the time and all that stuff. Ìwá ṣe lè ní mọ̀ pé ọ̀la wà ń bẹ̀ ó lé ọkọ ẹ̀ jáde kó lé lé ní tó pé wọ́n fún obìnrin ní kíní, ọjọ́ ń bọ̀ jẹ́ pé ìwọ náà jìyà, wàá sun ẹkún nínú yàrá ẹ̀, kò sẹ́ni bọ́dẹ̀ tó máa gbọ́ ẹ̀, wàá jẹ́ máa sunkún sínú, something like that. Àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ̀n yẹn tí wọ́n bá feel pé wọ́n fẹ́ solution, kò ní ìdí kan lọ bá sójà ọlọ́pàá àbí kan lọ sí court, wọ́n pe central office, a pe àwọn àgbààgbà wa, wọ́n bá wọn dá sí. We have àwọn àgbààgbà, mọ́mí wa tí wọ́n fẹ́ wọ 80, àwọn 70, àwọn 60, àwọn tó ti ní experience nípa ayé yìí, wọ́n wà ní láàrin wa. Ìkànnì wọn ni mọ́mí wa tẹ́ ń kílẹ̀ kan, mọ́mí Adéyẹyè, very wonderful mother. Mo fi opportunity láti kí wọn. Màmá wa Okunore, mo fi opportunity láti kí wọn. Àwọn àgbààgbà wa ní ẹ̀ka jẹ́ pé very very committed to this cause, very committed. Wọ́n kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun, àtàwọn àgbààgbà mi tó wà níbẹ̀ tí mi ò dárúkọ. All of us ní central office yẹn tọkàntọkàn ní láti ràn. Mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, kì í ṣe pé èèyàn máa dédé decide pé òun fẹ́ ṣe. Tọ́lọ́run ò bá fún yàn ní ọkàn olùṣọ́ àgùntàn, ọkàn aláàánú, kò ní lè ṣiṣẹ́ níbí. Nǹkan tó máa jẹ ló máa wá, tàbí orúkọ honorable tá à ń pera wa tá jẹ́ yẹn ló máa fẹ́ join. But for us, we are there to help and support. Nǹkan tá à ń ṣe nìyẹn pé káwọn Yorùbá wọ́n ní ìfọkànbalẹ̀, ní problem bá wà tó rẹ́ ní pè wá. We can be your next of kin, alẹ́ jẹ́ next of kin. Àti láwọn 1 or 2 people náà sọ pé wọ́n ti fi orúkọ Yorùbá central office sínú wíìlì wọn. Nígbà tó lọ́jọ́ bá dé, wọ́n máa sọ pé nǹkan báyìí, yes, ẹ fún àwọn central office ní iye báyìí àbí nílé báyìí, nǹkan báwọn yẹn. Yorùbá là ń lò fún, Yorùbá ni wá, Yorùbá là ń lò fún, kò sẹ́ni bọ́dì tó ń sanwó fún. Tọkàntọkàn tìfẹ́tìfẹ́ la fi ń ṣe. So ìkẹta à ń ṣe nìyẹn o, à ń tọ́jú àwọn Yorùbá, à ń tọ́jú àwọn ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ àti ẹgbẹ́ méjì rẹ pé wọ́n kóra wọn wá, wọ́n ń bára wọn jà láàrin ẹgbẹ́ wọn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wá, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fún wa ṣe, a bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Ara àwọn ẹgbẹ́ náà ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀, wọ́n fẹ́ training, wọ́n fẹ́ ká train wọn lórí management nǹkan kan báwọn yẹn. Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Anything tí a bá lè ṣe, à make sure pé a ṣe. Àwọn èèyàn wà ń bẹ, adẹ fún ara wa ní training, gbogbo officer, gbogbo worker tó wà ní central office yẹn, training upon training. A ní ìsinmi díẹ̀ in the past 2-3 months nítorí iṣẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Ìgbọ́n Yorùbá nation ti ń settle nísìn, iṣẹ́ ọ́fíìsì Bàbá Akíntóyè ó ti ń settle nísìn, àwọn tó wà ń bẹ wọ́n ti ń ṣiṣẹ́, àti ní assistant ẹnìkan tó wà ọ̀gá wa nílé, assistant director nílé tó ń handle iṣẹ́ nílé. So àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń develop àwọn nǹkan tí à ń ṣe. For instance now, induction tẹ́ sọ ẹ̀ nísìn, ó máa wáyé ní
on the end of 6th of August.
So àwọn tó bá fẹ́ join tó bá ti bẹ tó bá fẹ́ join ó lè join nísìn wọ́n máa wò bá ṣe ń ṣe wọ́n máa bá wọlé wọ́n máa bá wọ̀dé tábà níṣẹ́ àápè as a new joiner so tó bá dẹ̀ rí pé o perform dáadáa àwọn ọ̀gá ní ẹni tó jẹ́ bí ọ̀gá ní country tó bá wà wọ́n á recommend pé ẹ lọ fún induction àwọn tó bá ṣe dáadáa la máa ṣe induction fún náà bá recommend yẹ kò sí induction so àkọ́kọ́ bá a ṣiṣẹ́ náà yìí pé kò di bá ṣe ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ni pé wàá kàn dédé wá ń jọ Thursday kan a ṣe 2 hours training for you ọ̀rẹ́ ti di honourable ìyẹn ti change nísìnyí o wàá kọ́kọ́ bá ọ́fíìsì ṣiṣẹ́ country tó bá wà bóyá ní Ireland ló wà ní àbẹ̀ ní America ló wà ní àbí Gambia ló wà ní àbí Libya country tó bá wà àbí ní Europe wàá kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn ló máa recommend yẹ pé ẹni try ó ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa ẹ ṣe induction fún adé ṣe induction fún àti ráwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n ti ń bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ báyìí ní UK àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé supporters ni wọ́n tàpé wọ́n ní governing body àwọn máa ń bá àwọn board of trustees wọ́n máa bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ so àwọn wọ̀nyẹn wọ́n máa ń donate wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ń join wa tábà wọ́n ń ṣe staff but they are people members of the governing body that are there wọ́n wà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé tábà pè wọ́n á dá wa lóhùn fún kankan àbí kejì wọ́n máa ń join wa wọ́n máa ń ṣe àti rí àwọn èèyàn láàárín wọn tó sọ pé àwọn ò fẹ́ jẹ́ governing member àwọn fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ gan as a staff very good they are welcome tó bá di pàtó induction a ṣe induction fún wọn wọ́n bá dé induction wa ni pé ká kọ́ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ká lè ṣe swearing in you take an oath tó bá dẹ̀ sọ níwájú ènìyàn àti níwájú Ọlọ́run ẹ mọ̀ pé ó ti di bond ẹni tó bá gbàgbọ́ so that is what we do ṣùgbọ́n iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe púpọ̀ jù ní welfare àti outreach kí gbogbo ayé kó mọ Yorùbá eléyìí tí wọ́n mọ̀ wá ò tí tó fún rere fún dáadáa ọmọlúàbí ni wá àwọn iṣẹ́ tá a ti gbé kalẹ̀ tá a fẹ́ ṣe package ọmọlúàbí yẹn kó di nǹkan tó yẹ pé a máa tà fún gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè ayé yẹ pé a jẹ́ an administration tool yẹ pé a máa ṣe study gbogbo wọ̀nyẹn à ń ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí so that a lè ta gbogbo ayé before you know it tó bá dé ọ́fíìsì wọn fẹ́ ṣe interview wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé jó mọ̀ nǹkan nípa ọmọlúàbí skill wọ́n ní èwo ló tún jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ọmọlúàbí skills àti kọ̀ọ̀kan tó jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ so that ìyẹn ló máa form bí attitude àti character ẹni tá fẹ́ gbà síṣẹ́ tí o bá mọ̀ nǹkan nípa ẹ̀ bí a tẹ̀lé sọ di exam tí o bá pass ọmọlúàbí skills exam o lè ṣiṣẹ́ bí something like that àṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń gbé jáde àwọn tó bá dẹ̀ ní idea láti ṣe inú wa dùn fún wọn ṣùgbọ́n lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí àwọn managers là ń wá àwọn tí Ọlọ́run bá fi sún and you are a manager of resources o bá ti retired don't get tired ẹ ti retire but you are not tired o jẹ́ accountant o ti manage àbí o ti jẹ́ project manager o ti jẹ́ business manager o ti run organization in the past Yorùbá nìyí ẹ dẹ̀ ti ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa you know how to run a business ẹ jọ àwọn àyín come and then join and support the work iṣẹ́ yẹn ò ní pọ̀ jù a máa make sure wípé you work at your pace tó ti yẹn bá ráyè ni you work at your pace so à ń wá àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó ní management experience tó ní managerial skills à ń wá àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ manager àwọn tó ti ní ibi iṣẹ́ tó ń run tó ti manage àwọn ènìyàn pàápàá Yorùbá tó bá ṣeé ṣe àwọn tó ti run àwọn ẹ̀ là ń wá nísìn and you are not going to be a beginner a máa fi yín sí very important role tẹ́ pé ẹ lè demonstrate a ṣe training fún yín láti jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ specifics àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ pàtó nípa ti ilé-iṣẹ́ yìí Yorùbá Central Office Diaspora a jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ pàtó nípa ilé-iṣẹ́ yìí a máa kọ́ yín a máa jọ ṣe training yẹn pọ̀ a ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ dára after that àfọyín lóye àfọyín ní position láti manage for instance now Welfare Council Chief Officer ní UK à ń wá outreach council à ń wá manager àwọn ọ̀gá chief officer fún yẹn ní gbogbo diaspora à ń wá chief officer oríṣiríṣi for my role à ń wá assistant chief executive officer tó jẹ́ bí assistant fún ọ́fíìsì mi a deputy chief executive officer à ń wá yẹn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí kí àwọn Yorùbá kó jáde náà ká ran wa lọ́wọ́ ó máa wà lákọọ́lẹ̀ ká lè wí nípa tiẹ̀ pé ẹ ṣe wọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe.
ẹ ṣe gan ni bàbá wa torí àsìkò ǹjẹ́ ẹ máa ń nípàdé tí ẹ ti máa ń pàdé ara yín láwọn ọjọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan ní àwọn ìjókòó bí ẹ ti ṣe ṣàlàyé fún wa lédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni níjọ́ sátidé ní London a máa ń pàdé ní library Woolwich library a máa ń pàdé ńbẹ̀ ní gbogbo sátidé láago 2 sí aago 4 tí mi ò bá sí ńbẹ̀ àwọn project center leader officers wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀ mo fẹ́ fi opportunity láti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Honourable Ṣọlá àti Honourable Yomi Oluguna àwọn méjèèjì yẹn wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun láti lè make sure pé àwọn project centers yẹn run àwọn ni wọ́n lead wa ní Woolwich center lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí torí bẹ́ẹ̀ wà more comfortable à ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí Camberwell yẹn again so that àwọn tó wà ní central London wọ́n lè máa nítorí Camberwell Woolwich lè jìnnà jù fún wọn so that a meeting tá a máa ń ṣe every Thursday ní Camberwell so that a lè resuscitate yẹn environment yẹn ni ò jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn wá because a ti bá àwọn ọ̀gá tó wà ń bẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ àdèmà wá nǹkan ṣe sí so that ìgbẹ̀yẹn súnmọ́ ìgboro ní Camberwell yẹn ó súnmọ́ gboro dáadáa center ìgboro ni bóyá Thursday yẹn ò dẹ̀ wà convenient ni nǹkan bí wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé téèyàn bá pè wá nísìsiyìí tó lóun ní issue tó dẹ̀ fẹ́ rí wa face to face ibẹ̀ ló máa wá sí àwọn lọ́ọ̀yà tó máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tó máa nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ náà tó máa rí ẹ máa jọ sọ̀rọ̀ wọn á fẹ́ra wọn sí corner kan àbí yàrá kan wọn á dẹ̀ jọ sọ nǹkan tó máa sọ privately in confidence tó wá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ó ní document tó fẹ́ share wọn á pàdé níbẹ̀ ni so ọjọ́ yẹn la ní láti lè pàdé àwọn èèyàn Saturday gbogbo Saturday láago 2 sí aago 4 ní London àwọn tó dẹ̀ wà ní different countries àwọn yẹn náà máa arrange date tiwọn àti ibi tí wọ́n ti máa pàdé in actual fact a ní website kan fún gbogbo cases ní gbogbo àgbáyé ycwss.org ycwss.org ìyẹn ni website fún àwọn tó bá ní case wọ́n á lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n á register orúkọ wọn email wọn wọ́n á dẹ̀ type irú nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ ìrànlọ́wọ́ tó ń fẹ́ wọ́n á type ẹ̀ fún wa báyìí ó máa dé head office immediately wọ́n ti send their email yẹn máa wá sí head office.
yẹn ló ń pè ní Yorùbá UK Central Office current Yorùbá UK Central Office yẹn website yẹn.
YCWSS
www.ycwss.org.
Correct. Yes. Ibẹ̀ ló ti lè lọ log in if you have a case if you want to call our attention tó bá ní problem tó bá lẹ́nìtì tó fẹ́ ká ṣe abẹ́fẹ́ sọ nǹkan kan fún wa ẹ lọ type ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ you create a ticket ẹ dẹ̀ kọ orúkọ yín ẹ kọ email yín ẹ send it síbẹ̀ email yẹn á wá sí head office tí head office bá ti rí wọ́n á pe ọ̀gá tó wà ní country yẹn wípé ẹni báyìí need information ó need the help number ẹ̀ ní so YCWSS ó ti wà ń bẹ̀ ẹni gbogbo wa lè lọ síbẹ̀ kàtà if tẹ́ bá ní advice tẹ́ bá ní support nǹkan anything tẹ́ bá fẹ́ you key it in there ẹ ti kọ́ síbẹ̀ àárí gbà àdẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí nọ́mbà wa náà láti fún wa nọ́mbà wa ní head office ẹ bá ti pè wá pé ibo ní ọ́fíìsì wà ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀fà arábìnrin wa kan ní Cairo ní Egypt ó pè wá ní last week kí àwọn fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ central office ní Egypt just last week bàbá kan náà pè wá ní Florida wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Florida àwọn tó wà ní Brazil about 3 months ago wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ́fíìsì wọn so àwọn èèyàn ń gbọ́ nípa iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe wọ́n dẹ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú láti establish ara wọn but kánjú force anybody dẹ̀ rush anybody willingly ni freely receive freely give willingly ni cheerfully láti ràn án lọ́wọ́ ẹgbẹ́ tí èèyàn bá ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ dé stage kan á lè help àwọn tí wọ́n need the help so nǹkan tí à ń ṣe nìyẹn láti ràn àná láti polongo Yorùbá through community ìyẹn iṣẹ́ yẹn mo fẹ́ kó dìde dáadáa ká set up community ni olówó àlàfo láàárín àwa Yorùbá àti orílẹ̀-èdè tá à ń gbé yẹn là ń pè ní community yẹn ló máa ṣiṣẹ́ community for young people community for languages community for bóyá humanitarian work so that community Yorùbá yẹn á máa ṣiṣẹ́ tó la ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè yẹn á mọ̀ wá through community náà máa ṣe mọ̀ wá kì í ṣe through ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ wa o kì í ṣe through individual wa a kàn lọ síbi iṣẹ́ ká padà wá sílé wọn ò mọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o community work ni orílẹ̀-èdè wa máa fi mọ̀ wá the more community work we do the quicker we will be recognized so ara community yẹn la fẹ́ the mindset àwa Yorùbá ní country by country kó jáde ṣùgbọ́n àwọn èèyàn tó ń lọ sí different countries ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹlòmíì ó ní nǹkan tó wá lọ bí owó nǹkan kan oúnjẹ ogun kan ló lè lọ síbẹ̀ so àwọn tá a máa rí community yẹn Ọlọ́run máa gbé àwọn èèyàn tiẹ̀ dìde jẹ́ pé wọ́n lè dìde kí wọ́n sọ pé tó pé ẹnìkan kan ò dìde fún ẹ so wọ́n náà ní dìde fẹ́ lòmíì èrò kí èèyàn máa rò bẹ́ẹ̀ o nobody helped me during my time so I'm not going to I can't help anybody ẹ má sọ yẹn ẹ má jẹ́ ká sọ yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa torí àsìkò wa ti fẹ́ máa kásẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire tí wọ́n jókòó láti wákàtí 2.5 tí a fi ń ná níbẹ̀ tí a fi ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ láti dúpẹ́ fún wọn fún gbogbo tí a bá wọn sọ kí àwọn náà dẹ̀ wà lára àwọn tí wọ́n máa lè participate lọ́jọ́ iwájú ká má jókòó pé èèyàn kan ló ń bọ̀ wá ṣe àwa náà la máa ṣe nǹkan ara wa just under a minute and a half torí àsìkò ní ẹ má bínú ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo wọn.
kí o mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o òṣùbà ní fún gbogbo yín o pátápátá tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa àti gbogbo tẹ́ ti ní ìpinnu pé ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ ṣe kẹtẹ́ bá lè ṣe ká lè wí nípa tèmi pé mo ṣe wọn tí mo lè ṣe ẹ̀yin náà la máa jáde o ẹ má Ọlọ́run fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ pàápàá gbogbo àti àti retire lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nípa ní extra hours láti ṣe àwọn àgbàlagbà bàbá mọ̀mọ́ wa fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ welcome yín pè yín so that a lè máa handle ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ìmọ́lẹ̀ yẹn kó máa tàn sọ pé àwa ni ògo àti ìmọ́lẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ a lè jẹ́ kó ògo yẹn kó wà nípamọ́ a má jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó paná ògo wa nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe nìyẹn o èmi ò gbà kán paná ògo wa díẹ̀ ní a fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ síta fi ń ké jáde so that gbogbo ayé àmọ́ wa ẹ join in kò sí ẹ tún máa wà you be trained ẹ máa gba certificate fún training yín ẹ máa ṣe ẹgbẹ̀tẹ̀ bá ráàyè ni because àwọn èèyàn fún bá pọ̀ ìgbàtẹ́ bá ráàyè lè máa attend tó bá lè ṣe attend pé rújú kájọ ṣepọ̀ yẹn gan ara ẹ̀ máa ṣe kí ni ara ìdàgbàsókè Yorùbá ni ẹ̀ kájọ ṣepọ̀ kájọ meet and greet nǹkankan ní gbogbo country tá a bá wà and ní state tá a bá wà tá a bá wà ní state tí o bá ti sí Yorùbá central office bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ pé head office mo ti fún wa ní nọ́mbà wa +447799127851 ẹ pé ọ́fíìsì tàbí kẹ́ lọ sórí website yẹn kẹ́ send ticket àbí kẹ́ lọ send email you can contact us àbí kẹ́ pé bàbá Kóìkì wọ́n mọ̀ nọ́mbà wa because he is a resident governing member wọ́n wà lórí platform àwọn board of members so ẹ pé wọ́n fún yín ní nọ́mbà wa ẹ wá I need àwọn managers tọ́lọ́run fún ní ìmọ̀ òye láti manage resources kẹ́rí àwọn Yorùbá I need the special training láti lè manage iṣẹ́ tí ọ́fíìsì máa ṣe nìyẹn à ń train àwọn ènìyàn wa láti mọ̀ bó ṣe manage Yorùbá ara nǹkan tá a máa ń sọ ni pé o ò lè bá Yorùbá jà o títí kan ìyàwó ẹ ìwọ obìnrin o ò lè bá ọkọ ẹ jà ìjọba bá gbọ́ pé o bá Yorùbá jà ọjọ́ yẹn lè iṣẹ́ ẹ ní central office parí o we will sack you ọjọ́ yẹn ló máa jáde à ń bá Yorùbá no matter what they do àti mọ̀ wípé gbogbo alágbàlù wọn ló danú délẹ̀ nítorí pé gbogbo wọn ni nírun kìdẹ́sẹ̀ bí wọn Nàìjíríà ló fún wọn lóríṣiríṣi jẹ Nàìjíríà ti force oríṣiríṣi yẹn rọ̀fọ̀rọ̀fọ̀ sínú wọn ó ti bà ọmọlúwàbí jẹ́ so tí doctor bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń bú patient ọjọ́ yẹn doctor yẹn lose license ẹ̀ ọjọ́ tí doctor bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń bú patient ẹ̀ wípé olóòjú ń dùn oṣù wá sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ o dẹ̀ wá ń fojú yẹn bú ṣe mọ̀ pé yẹn ò dáa tó is not professional so ìjọ yẹn ni doctor bá a ṣe ń ṣe tiwa nìyẹn o lè bú Yorùbá ọjọ́ tí a bá gbọ́ ní ọ́fíìsì tí n bá gbọ́ o kò sí question no you have no cause whatsoever to fight argue with a Yorùbá because Yorùbá tó rí yẹn ọmọlúwàbí ni ẹ̀dá ọ̀tọ̀ ni ògo adúláwọ̀ ni kì í ṣe òun lórí bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan tó ń sọ tó ń wọ̀ ẹ̀ kì í ṣe àwọn Nàìjíríà ló bà gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́ Nàìjíríà ló force wọn influence bad influence ó jẹ́ kí àgùntàn wa kó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jẹ̀gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú ajá so gbogbo wa nǹkan tá à ń ṣe nìyẹn àfẹ́kọ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ yẹn kó tàn nǹkan tá à ń ṣe àdàfẹ́ ran Yorùbá nation lọ́wọ́ iṣẹ́ pọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn project pọ̀ so àwa tá a wà tá à ń kóra wa tọ́lọ́run fún lórí ọ̀fẹ́ àwa yẹn la máa lò nígbà tí bàbá Akíntúndé bá sọ pé tó ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe lé àwa la máa pè iṣẹ́ oríṣiríṣi tán fún wa tí mi ò lè máa sọ níbí ó pọ̀ gan tá a máa ṣe wọ́n ìpè mí lẹ́yìn báyìí iṣẹ́ mi ìná gbé wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so ẹ jẹ́ ká tuwọ́pọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ ọ́fíìsì iṣẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ o iṣẹ́ ibi tó máa wá tí wàá gbé òfin tiẹ̀ wá o kó tó dé ọ́fíìsì ti wà set up tó bá dé wàá ṣiṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ́fíìsì wàá follow rules and regulations wàá bọ̀wọ̀ fáwọn olórí iṣẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ tó lè sọ̀rọ̀ sí anybody anyhow kò sí lùpàdé bẹ́ẹ̀ níbí o tá bá sọ pé ẹni báyìí ni project leader ẹ òun ni project leader òun la máa fetí sí ìgbà táwọn ọ̀gá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ òun la máa béèrè pé ibo ló bá ṣe ìránṣẹ́ ẹ dé kì í ṣe pé ìwọ tó wá ń pariwo níbẹ̀ no ọ̀wọ̀ yẹn professional it is formal and professional that is how we run bá ṣe ń run central office tó ṣe balẹ̀ nìyẹn tó bá dẹ̀ wọlé tó fẹ́ wà formal professional ẹ wá bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo Yorùbá máa sọ pé thank you gbogbo ọ̀nà máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ ṣé pọ̀ ká lè wí nípa tèmi pé ṣe wọ́n tí mo lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ káàárọ̀ jire tí ẹ bá wa gbọ́ ètò ti tèmi and once again thank you so much to all our listeners from around the world it's been a fantastic discussion and looking back into what the Yoruba Central Office UK head office have been doing in the last 1 year and 3 months when we have the privilege of Dr. Okebiorunkosi. We will let him come off, and then I will be also bringing the program to an end in the next minute or so. Thank you so much to my producer, Mr. Achi Amond, and likewise Mr. Frank David for making these, another Wednesday, as we say, it is the Niger Voices, where we look into the real indigenous people, the Yorubas. Like I said, we will be bringing someone from the Biafra. We're working on that very, very soon. We hope, we should have them probably before the end of the month to also come and discuss, what they are doing on the other side as well. Also, for those that believe in one Nigeria, we cannot hold you back, as you have the right to believe in what you believe. But for those of us, disconnect, Baba Okebiorunkosi, you can come off completely. We can say to those of you that are still living in denial, we cannot stop you from saying that you want to remain as a one Nigeria. One Nigeria is what you want. For us, one Nigeria is just not working. And this is how far we will be ending it. I'll be back tomorrow with Archie at exactly 11 o'clock. If you have not joined us on the Twitter, please do so. Sorry we couldn't touch on the news on Nigeria today. Next week, there will be ample more time. But tomorrow, 11 o'clock, make it a date and a time with me on the morning show, where we'll be reviewing some of the discussion this evening. And we'll be discussing more other pressing issues in Nigeria. My name is OLAMILEKAN, and this has been the Star Radio UK network. And I say good evening once again. And from this end, I say au revoir. And I'll be playing my last track, even though we never had to play one. And that is Janet that says, Orile-ede mi, Orile-ede mi. And I'll be handing over now to my producer once again. Tomorrow is also the property hour. Make sure you tune in. But from now, I'll say good evening and Odaro for those of you listening to us. Orile-ede mi from Sister Janet is coming up now.
Forget that I'm left with two guns. So thank you so much to everyone that have joined us tonight. With Dr. Okebiorunkosi, we appreciate your time on the network. And as I say, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa from different part of the world. It's been a very fantastic evening, as we always say. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned one of good things. I hope you've enjoyed the program. And I pray that as we continue our quest for Yoruba nation, it does not matter what people say. Some of us have sacrificed ourselves and we are not ready to look back. It does not matter how long it's going to take, but kò lè dàbí ìgbà tí a ti ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́. Some might disagree and say kò ní wáyé, irọ́ lẹ̀ ń pa, this and that. But whether you like it or not, the country Nigeria will disappoint you because kò ní fún yín ní peace of mind that a lot of you are looking for. You will not get the peace of mind in Nigeria because Nigeria is not going to give you the peace of mind. So you might as well just focus your energy with us so that kí energy yẹn kó máa ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi David Adegoke. Aziz, mo kí ẹ dáadáa, mo kí ìyá mi Elizabeth Adesanya, mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ mo fi dárúkọ yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí TikTok, mo mà kí yín dáadáa. I hope you've been enjoying the live transmission. Sorry, a lot of you do send requests. We can't bring anybody in. Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà, my comrade, mo kí yín dáadáa. Mo kí ẹ Kúnlé Bakers, Ìjáyà, mo kí ẹ dáadáa. Mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, mo kí Ṣẹ́gun Yovo, mo kí ìyá wa Ògínní, mo kí yín. Always love _ Godchild, Banji _ Snipes, mo kí yín. Mọ́mí mi Esther, mo máa ń kí yín dáadáa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí MixLR, Comrade Plan B, ó ní ECOWAS my foot. Akin Games, mo kí ẹ. 9 people are listening to us on the MixLR and we say thank you so much. Fẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà lórí Ọláyọmí Kóìkì, ẹ má bínú pé I couldn't project the front of the camera. Mo ní láti ra another stand. Denix, mo kí ẹ lórí TikTok. Mo ṣe ń get used to all this TikTok. Koiki, please, I need to talk to you after this program. Okay. Fún mi ní miss call straight away lórí either the studio number or the other number tó parí pẹ̀lú 979. Tí bá ti lè end the program yẹn, ẹ kọ pè mí straight away. Mr. Banky Olani, mo máa end program yẹn, mo kàn kí àwọn èèyàn wa náà ni pé ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ìyá mi Ruth, mo kí yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà pẹ̀lú wa, àtẹ̀ntẹ̀sí pẹ̀lú wa náà ni mò ń kí. Mo kí àwọn tó wà ní orí studio pẹ̀lú mi lénìí. Ọmọ Dámiláre, mo kí ẹ. Mo kí Biafra, mo kí àwọn tó ń ṣe Biafra, mo kí àwọn Hausa gan. Adétọ́lá Ṣèyí, mo kí yín ẹni well done. Good to see you back in full force. Thank you so much. I hope you've been enjoying my last couple of programs. Maybe you want to give a review. We started at 3 o'clock in the morning while some of you are sleeping. Koikimedia pẹ̀lú àwọn kan. We were running our program. Tẹ́ bá ti miss the program yẹn, ẹ pè mí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi David Adegoke. Tí bá ti lè end the broadcast yẹn finally, kẹ́ make sure pé pè mí. Kó má di pé mo ní rántí pé ìyẹn ní kẹ́ pè mí, ẹ má bínú ẹ jọ̀ọ́. It's been fire to fire today. This is going to be the 4th program that I've run today. I ran a program from 3 o'clock in the morning up to 5 a.m. Then I went back to bed. I went to sleep. Then I woke up again and we started about 9:30 for another 1 hour discussing Yoruba Nation. After that, we went straight to the STARR Radio UK, where we also had a bit of interaction. And this is the final program. So Wednesday is always back to back. Even though I've been away for a few days, I hope I've been able to catch up some of those days. I wasn't feeling very well for those few days that you didn't see me. Ọmọ Alájà, mo kí yín, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Abẹ́òkúta, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Ìdíròkò, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Okoko Michael. Sorry, I'm just joining. Eya, ẹ lọ wo the replay back. You okay? Kí ló jọ lójú ẹ? Ọmọ Òdùà. Mo ti fẹ́ ṣe tán. Almost. Mo ti fẹ́ ṣe tán. Ó kù 1 minute. Okay? I'm coming now. I love you. So, mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí. Once again, it does not matter what people say. This Yoruba Nation is not going to happen. Nigeria will happen to you anyway because your money continue to be devalued. Mo kí Bishop Adesina. This rubbish. You see, when I say tissue paper, this is with the tissue paper. This is your Nigerian money. It's a tissue paper. Every day, own the value. But in the value, you see Nigerian student in UK, one now only 5 million naira as at March, tí ó ń fún wọn ní £9,000. But today, their 5 million naira is giving them £5,000. So they've lost £4,000. Bólówó ṣe ń lose owó náà ní Nàìjíríà. Mo kí mọ́mì mi Esther, mo kí àtòbí mi lọ́mọ, mo kí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Ìjáyà, mo kí òun náà dáadáa. Mo mọ̀ pé ó máa fún ìyá Dagboru yẹn, ó máa fún lésì padà. A distraction woman, a woman that has no iota of truth. Irọ́ ti pọ̀jù ní gbogbo tó ń sọ. If you've missed all the program I've done, maybe this is the time that you want to sit back and enjoy, or you join the Yoruba World Media. I believe they're live as well. But for now, I gotta go so that we can be back again with our lecture. Ekiti State, we've lost few days already. I will still start Ekiti tomorrow, and then we will run it till next week, or probably maybe I'll just float in between. We've talked about Kwara, we've talked about Kogi. Ekiti State ni mò ń bọ̀ láti wá discuss kí ló wà nínú Ekiti, and more than as many of you will learn a lot of things as we continue to do our exposition. One love, shalom. Mo kí mọ́mì wa grandma, gbogbo ẹ̀yin grandma ni mo kí, ìyá mi Comfort Ológunjà mo kí yín dáadáa. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin prayer warriors, GR1, Mrs. Janet Fashakin and the rest, Global Directorate, Iba Gani Adams, and bàbá mi Akintoye àti Chief Banji Ayeloge. Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà US chapter on the July 23rd, they are launching the online radio. We'll be talking about that maybe a little bit tomorrow. As many people can launch many online platforms, it doesn't matter. We need as many people to continue to talk. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn medias, àtẹ̀ntó wà lábẹ́ ètò, àtẹ̀ntó sì lábẹ́ ètò. And as I say, Ohun Ayọ̀ la máa sùn. I will play our Jekomo, and then I will use that to start closing the broadcast. Igboho Oòṣà, a máa nífẹ̀ẹ́ kú ni. It does not matter what anybody say. Nobody can do what you have done. You've proven yourself, and for that reason, you are worth to be worshipped. Just like people are worshiping Anabi Muhammad and those that are worshiping Jesus. Ìwọ lèmi mọ̀, èmi ò pàdé Jésù rí, mo ò dẹ̀ pàdé Ànábì rí, èmi ò rí wọn rí, ìwọ lèmi rí, ìwọ lànábì tiwa. Good night, everybody. Bye for now.